Woodward Sports Network presents a sports show that's more than just sports. Welcome to The Bottom Line with U of M great and former NFL star Braylon Edwards and Ryan Armani. Sit back and let's talk some Detroit sports right now on The Bottom Line.
And a happy Friday to you. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani on his last day of vacation. So I hope you enjoyed this, Ryan. So when you come back, you're going to be working very hard. But no, Ryan Armani will be back on Monday. Thank you to everybody who's been watching all week long and letting us know that you miss Ryan. But, of course, Braylon Edwards is here as always.
Holding it down, man. Shout out to my boy Nader, man. Nader, I appreciate you. My boy Nader, one of my best friends. Got me this Ric Flair Bear drip. As they say, I love this hoodie. It's a little woo! Ric Flair action right there. So, Nader, really appreciate you, big guy.
It's that Friday vibes going on right now. We got Sam Flannel in here, of course, rocking a flannel. Good that you're on brand today.
That's what I'm talking about.
And then Maz is in the big chair. And then, of course, Alex is in the TD booth. We always start out with what's trending. And obviously, if you look at Twitter, you look at any social media, you look at anything, the Ukraine is trending. Yesterday, our president spoke about sanctions that they're putting on Russia. But really the interesting thing about this, and Maz, you brought it up, is about the Klitschko brothers, right?
Yeah, from World Heavyweight champions and great people. They're in their 40s and 50s, the brothers, the Klitschko brothers. And guess what? They're going to go to war for their country. Yes. Braylon, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I was excited to see this. I've always been a fan of Vitaly and Vladimir. Vladimir lost most recently 2 years ago to Anthony Joshua, but they've always been patriots. You look at Vitaly. Vitaly's 50 years old. I believe he's the mayor of the capital city, which is Kiev. And then Vladimir is definitely a patriot. He's been a patriot a long time. And to see these guys, man, as buff as they are, but, they're 50 and 45, and to enlist because their country needs it against the bully that's Russia. You got to love this stuff, man. Like, I wouldn't want to go up against these guys in the war, but unfortunately, this ain't 1776 where it's taking 10 years to pump the gun. Like, guys are shooting them quick, so they're big and they're strong, but them bullets, whew.
Yeah, bullets even the playing field.
100%.
They definitely do. They make small men big in a hurry.
And you were saying the public is now armed in the Ukraine.
Yeah, the Ukrainian government is handing out guns to the public just to make sure that everybody's armed and everybody can protect their homes and stuff like that. And, as big of a patriot I am, that's one of the things that, even though people disagree with the United States having guns and our civilians being able to access them, that's a problem that we never really have to deal with. And whenever I have these conversations with people about anybody attacking the U.S., it's like, okay, you get by the military, you get by the Coast Guard, you get by the Navy. Now you're on shore in L.A. All right, well, now go try to take Compton. Let's see how that goes.
Ain't happening. Ain't happening. Southwest Detroit ain't happening.
Right.
Mac and Bewick, East Side Detroit ain't happening.
Exactly.
Livernois and Davidson ain't happening.
So essentially, the USA has the largest military in the world because our citizens are so well armed, and we can get into the debate whether certain guns should be allowed or not. But at the end of the day, it's nice to know that if something like this happened, our government wouldn't be scrambling to get us to protect ourselves.
It's crazy that over here when you hear a knock at the door, it's probably UPS, it's probably FedEx, it's probably Amazon, definitely probably Amazon. You hear a knock on the door over in Ukraine, and here you go, AK-47.
Right.
Here you go, assault rifle.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Protect yourself.
It's crazy though, to think about that, to be that blessed, to be this free.
Yes.
Like it's one of those things where you can say what you want to say. You still wake up. You feel a lot better when you wake up in America.
Hey, we're all praying for the people of the Ukraine, and hats off to the Klitschko brothers. They are true champions.
100%. I've always loved them. And actually, Vitaly beat Lennox Lewis, but they made him stop the fight because his eye closed. But Vitaly was about to knock him out. Oh, man, it was a hell of a
those guys
fight.
could fight.
Yeah, and remember what they said about fighting each other? Everybody, because they were both champs at one time, and they wouldn't fight each other because they both were the number one contender when the other was champs. But they wouldn't fight because they said, it's not that we're scared of each other. We know we fight to win, which means we'll kill one another. I was like, oh, shoot. That's looking through a different lens.
Well, and think about that if you're a civilian, right? And, things are popping off in your neighborhood and you look over to your left and you got the Klitschko brothers there. Like, as scared as you are, it's got to give you some sort of confidence in the fact that your people have your back.
And you brought this up before we went on air. Who in America would do that? Because I can think of two guys.
Yeah, you hit them.
I think of The Rock. And I think of John Cena. I think if some stuff popped off, I could see The Rock and I could see John Cena.
The late great
Pat Tillman. Yeah, Pat Tillman, NFL. He had just signed a big deal with the Arizona Cardinals at the time. I believe it was 6 years, so upwards of $18 million. And He said, you know what, my country's more important. That was right after 9/11, so hats off to his family, and they've done a tremendous job in NFL honoring his memory in the years since past.
Yeah, and unfortunately, he died through friendly fire too, which is
terrible,
tragic. And then the government tried to cover it up. So that's a whole other story we can get into another time.
Hats off to my friend Major Clarence Black, who protected us, and he is back home now. I hope he gets to stay home, but we love you, Black.
Shout out to a good friend of mine, Richard Simeon. He was a Ranger in the Army, and now he's retired with kids who take up all the time now. But shout out to Richard Simeon.
Yeah, so, obviously our thoughts are going out to everybody fighting that battle in Ukraine. And, that's a heavy topic, but it's trending right now. It's going on in the world. We're talking about it in the office, so we kind of at least
guys asked me in the bowling alley last night about it. I'm like, I really don't know much about it, but, X, Y, Z, that's it.
Well, let's get to a little lighter topic. MC Hammer is also trending.
What
a world we're living in.
Too legit to quit. Hey, too legit.
And it may not be for the reason that you think. This picture got posted on Twitter, and it has gone viral. And it just says, MC Hammer looks so out of place. And if you're listening on the radio right now, the picture is of MC Hammer with this big, cheesy smile. He's the only one you can see his teeth because he's smiling.
Far right, by the way.
Yeah, he's to the far right. And then to the left of him is Tupac throwing up the West Coast sign. You got Suge Knight in there, Snoop Dogg in the back looking like Snoop Dogg did in the early
Calvin
90s.
Brodus.
Yeah, that's Calvin Brodus, Snoop Dogg.
That's Calvin Brodus. That's the one that went to high school in Detroit. Snoop went to Cody High School for the first 2 years. And he did. He went to Cody High School around Joy Road and Southfield Freeway for 2 years, and then he moved back to Long Beach. It's crazy. You look at that picture.
Is that for real?
Yeah.
How did he come up with his name?
So his father lived here. His mother lived out in Long Beach.
I had no idea about that.
He lived out here for 5-6 years. He went to Cody High School his freshman year, sophomore year, halfway through his sophomore year, he transferred and went back to Long Beach.
Because I know Exhibit has family ties and grew up here a little bit.
Snoop. He worked at that McDonald's that used to be on Southfield Freeway and Joy Road. But it's funny looking at that picture. The only thing that pops in my mind is that picture from the draft last year, where it was all the guys, all the LSU guys, the Alabama guys, and then there's Zach Wilson. It's like Zach Wilson's like chilling. All these guys are throwing up the dub. They're throwing up LSU. They're throwing up Alabama. And Zach's over there like, hey guys, how you doing? Just happy to be here.
They were all eyeballing his mom, by the way.
Zach Wilson's mom stole the draft.
Smoke show.
And speaking of smoke shows, I put up an article today on woodwardsports.com honoring Kathy Ireland. And we're kind of waxing poetic about Kathy Ireland.
She was something in the early 90s.
She still is, too. She is smoking as an older woman.
You had like her. You had Cindy Crawford would do the Pepsi commercials and Calvin Klein. And then you had Halle Berry at the time. Tyra Banks at Maz bought up. That was a hell of a time for Victoria's Secret and the model game.
Yeah, I almost got thrown out of school because Sports Illustrated would put out the swimsuit issue.
Yeah, this is usually the month, but they moved it now.
Really?
The swimsuit. First of all, Sports Illustrated is not the same anymore.
No.
It's a once-a-month magazine. It's just not the same. But you always waited February, crappy month for sports besides the Super Bowl. But at least you were going to get the swimsuit edition. Now they don't even have that until like June.
Well, they used to send a daily planner out with it, and Kathy Ireland was on the cover, and she was the centerfold of it. When I was in junior high, I took that to school as my daily planner, and it got taken away from me. Then I stole it back from the teacher, and I got suspended. So Kathy Ireland got me suspended from middle school, Walled Lake Middle School.
That's the way to go.
When I think about Kathy Ireland, I think about the episode of Family Guy where like Chris has like the tall life-size cutout of Kathy Ireland. He's taking around like it's his wife and all. But you mentioned yesterday we were talking about cameos and movies, and we're talking about athletes. Speaking of cameos, Kathy Ireland, she was a cameo in Necessary Roughness.
She was the kicker.
There you go. She was the kicker. That was a heck of a movie.
That was a great movie. One of my favorite movies, actually. Scott Bakula at quarterback.
Sinbad at D-tackle.
When you need a quarterback, you go to Scott Bakula.
That's right.
Mr. Quantum Leap. What about when they scrimmaged the guards? You had Evander Holyfield was on the prison team. Jerry Rice, Roger Craig. Team was sick, man. Dick Butkus was on the team.
Yeah, great.
By the way, Dick Butkus is a great Twitter follow now.
Is he?
He joined maybe 3 weeks ago, and he is on fire.
I came in hot one day. I said, yo, everybody got to get on Dick Butkus. Because I followed the Iron Sheik on Twitter, and Iron Sheik is ridiculously funny. Like, he just doesn't give two you-know-whats. But Dick Butkus is the exact same. It's worth Google, as they say.
He is good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
He's going off on people, man.
Well, that's what's trending right now on Twitter. And then, of course, coming up later in the show today, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. I'm talking about Joe Buck. We're talking about the NFL Rapid Fire. We're going to have some topics coming up on that. Dave Burkett came out with a mock draft that we want to go over. And coming up next, I got a question for you, Braylon. Actually, everybody in the room, I want to answer this question because, Maz, you brought this up, and it's such a fun topic to talk about. Think about expansion teams and where you would put them.
Ooh.
Any sport.
Any sport.
Any city. Even come up with a name, colors, anything you want. I heard the boys this morning on my way in, Doug and Gator, and it was on NBC Sports on Twitter. I saw the same thing they saw.
Right.
And right away, I'm like, oh, I had like 5 teams come to my mind. So pick your expansion team. You're allowed to go to any sport, any city, maybe even come up with a name, maybe come up with some colors. Pick a few teams if you'd like. You got an unlimited budget.
Can I do a Quidditch team? You know, I'm a big Quidditch fan.
Sure.
You know,
Do a Quidditch
for all
team.
my Harry Potter people out there.
Are
I'm
you
a big
a Harry Potter
Quidditch guy.
fan?
Come on, man. Gryffindor, man, all day. What are you talking about?
All right, Slytherin over here, man.
Oh,
What you talking
what?
about?
We can get down. You know, what's up then? What's up?
I am not a huge Harry Potter fan,
I-
but I do enjoy the films, and I actually went to Harry Potter World in Orlando
Yeah.
before
my
I ever
daughters
saw
wanna go.
any of the films.
Oh.
And it was just like, what is this place? And, you know, there's some diehards there that were offended that I had never seen Harry Potter while I was down there.
Yeah, that's one of those things. They take it serious.
They're very, very serious. So let's get into the
Diagon
expansion
Alley and all
talk.
that stuff. They serious down there.
Let's get into all the expansion talk. What team and where you would place them. We will do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards, and the show is
The Bottom Line.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Chili Peppers Tanning, that's your place for your vitamin D injection. It's where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D, spotless, sanitized rooms, trained and certified tanning professionals. Don't forget to join the Peppers Club because they got the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. Don't forget, while you're there, pick up Australian Gold, Designer Skin, Caltan, and Swedish Beauty Lotions. ChiliPeppersTanning.com, the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters. 26 locations and more on the way. We were just there on Monday, just down the street on Woodward, between 11 and 12 Mile in Berkeley. It is ChiliPeppersTanning.com.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you for everybody that's watching on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch, and of course everybody who has downloaded our app, which is free for you to download today. Just go to the Apple or Google Play Store and search Woodward Sports. And everybody that's listening on the radio right now on The Roar, thank you guys so much. So we were talking about expansion teams, and the question was, which league and which city would you put an expansion team in if you had just full control over it?
And you can't pick NFL in Detroit.
So yeah, you can't. That joke's been told about 100 times in this office.
Can I take the Lions elsewhere?
No, you can't. The Lions are ours.
Don't you ever take my Lions from me. So Maz, let's start with you because you posed the question.
Yeah.
So first up, if you could take any franchise, what sport are you starting with first?
I had the team like within a second of this question coming to me, and I don't know why they're not there. I'm going NBA, and I'm going to Las Vegas, and I'm calling them the Ballers. The Vegas Ballers.
Vegas Ballers.
I don't mind
And
that.
I'm black and silver.
Sounds like an AAU team, though.
It does.
That's my team. The Vegas Ballers.
Black and silver?
Black and
to
silver.
match the Raiders?
Yep. I
Okay.
love black and silver as colors. I just think a team in Vegas would be amazing. I'd get every free agent. Everyone's going to want to come play there. I'm going to compete within 3 years.
I love Vegas. I love basketball in Vegas. I think it's well. The only thing, my only concern would be the opposing teams, and even the home teams to a certain extent, is because I know for a fact, you know for a fact, you were in the club life for a while, promotions. The team that's coming in, they always throw a party. One of their celebrities, one of their all-stars, they always throw a party the night before the game. Usually you're in cities, guys kind of fly in for a little bit. City like Detroit closes at 2, show face till about 11, 12, get back to the hotel. You take some treats with you if you get my drift. Vegas doesn't close. So you're legitimately having the opposition come in doing a party, but like Vegas turns into Dre's, which doesn't close, which turns into other after hours, it doesn't close, turns into strip clubs, turns into casino, gambling. You might start a game at 8 p.m. on a Saturday and be looking for the opposition. Like, where the hell is their away team?
They're still on their bender.
They're still on a bender.
You went on a forfeit then.
This is true. That could actually be one of the part of science of having a team in Vegas.
I can't believe there's not a team there yet. I thought they would have been the first team there. NHL beats everybody there. Then the Raiders come. They're going to get baseball. It looks like the Oakland A's. Well, I know they're looking. They're looking for land in Vegas right now, and they'll probably be the before you know it, the Vegas A's.
Someone, Gromit in the chat is just saying, move the Spurs to Vegas, and there you go, man. You got the color scheme all ready to rock.
Yeah, but they got their fans already.
Yeah.
I might have to go off the black and silver. I forgot the Spurs are black and silver. I might have to change my colors.
So, Braylon, what you doing?
I'll go black and gold like the Knights.
There you go.
So we're doing a couple of different ones. So we keep going around. So my first one, I'm saying you put a football team in Mobile, Alabama.
Okay.
You put a football team in Mobile, Alabama.
They love their football.
Alabama down south loves their football. They love football. Alabama's population is just around 5 million. You got Mississippi, which is right on the coast. They're right on the border. Their population is 3 million. You see how they support Auburn, how they support Bama, how they support insert Jackson State. Now, like, if you put a professional football team right in the middle of 2 states that do not have a professional football team and it's down south, man, you're talking about pure gold colors. Black's always a good one, but you can always make black even if it's not.
You got to stick with crimson.
Crimson?
You got to stick with that color, I think.
Like a crimson.
Playoff Alabama.
Playoff Alabama.
Do like the Michigan Panthers, do crimson and like light blue.
Well, the Birmingham Stallions were the USFL.
It's like Mumford. All right, you know what? I got one. It's like, I'll go crimson, crimson and a dark blue.
There you go.
All right.
That'll work.
Crimson and dark blue.
You got to come up with a name, too.
Immediately when you brought this up, I started thinking in the state. Like, for some reason, I didn't think around the country, and because I guess I'm a homer like that. So I was thinking, we put a hockey team up in, like, the UP or at Mackinac Island, and they're selling out, right? Because there's nothing else going on up there. So you got your built-in audience. You know this is, like, the hockey central of the United States. The Michigan teams are always competing from Lake Superior State to Michigan to, Michigan State has a great hockey program too, but you put a hockey team up there at Mackinac Island or Traverse City, and you call it like the Cherries or the Cherry Poppers or something like that. I'm buying that jersey that says Traverse City Cherry Popper.
Not to mention they're right next to Wisconsin. Wisconsin doesn't have a pro team.
They're
right there in Minnesota, still kind of hanging over as well. That's a huge, highly populated hockey area.
Call them the Trolls.
I don't mind that.
Oh, Max just nailed it.
That's it. That's it right there.
The Trolls.
That's it right there. Wow.
I like that.
The Mackinac City Trolls.
I like that.
I do love that.
Mac City.
And if they play above the bridge, we could just call them the Youpers.
The Mac Trolls.
I love it.
There we go. Settled.
You're going to get a lot of snow outs, though.
That's fine. That's fine. It's hockey, baby.
Wow.
That's what we live for.
I'm still caught that 6 minutes into this segment, we already have the perfect name and the perfect place. You guys are a hell of a tag team.
I love it, man.
Yeah, we just now we just need to get the funding and the rights from the NHL, and we're off and running.
Fake money. And
Sam,
the fake money.
you got a team, man?
Oh, yeah. So one of my favorite
man.
places that I visited recently is Indianapolis. And I believe Indianapolis should have a Major League Baseball team.
Okay.
They would be called the Indianapolis Knights, and their colors would be black and purple.
Okay.
Like, you're in my head.
Purple?
You in my head literally right here. Indianapolis needs an MLB team.
Wow.
He's stealing his notes, Sam?
No, he's not, because I didn't come. I said the Hogs. I came over. I know
Hogs.
Maz likes the Hogs. But yeah, you're right, man. That'd be a great idea. And essentially, they have a semi-pro baseball stadium that's right by Lucas Oil and right by their convention
they used to be
center.
the Indians.
Exactly.
They have a minor league team. Yeah,
Minor
the
league
Indians,
team, excuse me. It's played right there. AAA, excuse me. So they have spacing. Obviously, they would make it different. I love Indianapolis for baseball.
Are you going to be a good owner and speak up on behalf of the players?
Oh, yeah.
Unlike these schmucks that are out there
Take
now?
us to a lockout,
There would
Sam?
be no lockouts
Good.
with Sam Reynolds as the owner.
Good.
You can book it.
How about Alex? What do you got, Alex?
I'm not that creative.
That's the spirit.
Here's
You're
one.
such
Here's
a
one.
ball of energy.
I know, thanks. I would go to the city of Harlem in New York.
This is
an NBA team. They would be called the Harlem Globetrotters. Okay. And no, seriousness, I think an NHL team in Miami would be cool. I think an MLB team.
They have one in Miami.
No,
They don't have one in Miami.
Well, it's outside, Sunrise, Florida. It's like 30
Exactly.
minutes outside of
It's like-
Miami.
It's further than that, but yeah. Miami doesn't have one. The beach doesn't have one. So.
You know, Indianapolis could use a hockey team. They used to be the Racers at the WHA, and Wayne Gretzky played for them. The
I like
Indianapolis
your hockey.
Racers.
I like his NHL hockey in Miami because they don't have one on the beach. I kind of like that one as well.
The beach bums.
D's nuts in the chat right now. It says Indiana Icers, NHL team colors, light blue, silver, gold, and icy
Look at
blue.
Doughboy Steve just said what I said. The Indianapolis Racers, except it was WHA.
Here we go. I got two more.
Okay.
I got NBA in Boise, Idaho.
Oh,
And you call them the Idaho Invaders.
Ooh.
I'm rocking with it. And I'm going the same colors as Boise State.
Idaho.
Idaho.
I think the CBA was in Idaho. I think Jimmy King played there.
I'm throwing some different things out there. I'm telling you.
I got
Some
one.
Basketball
This
in
is
Idaho.
a lock. Give Oakland back an NFL team.
Well, there you go. Take one from L.A. Give it to them.
Give them. Or move the Chargers back to San Diego.
Yes.
Please.
That's another place I went.
Very
Is put another
creative.
NFL
Yes.
team in St. Louis.
Please.
Like, I can't imagine being a St. Louis Rams fan right now.
Right.
Like, it's hard enough being a Lions fan and never crossing that threshold, never winning playoff games, never getting to a Super Bowl.
Right.
But for your team to pick up, leave, and then win a Super Bowl, that's
And they
gotta
had
hurt.
the Cardinals prior to that.
It's called the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Same thing happened in
And
Cleveland.
they took them in the middle of the night, too.
Baltimore Ravens. Same thing happened.
Stick, they were in St. Louis, had the Cardinals. They moved to Arizona and went to a couple Super Bowls themselves.
That'd be so tough. Like, I don't know how Browns fans live with that, or St.
Yeah.
Louis fans live with that.
They're just
because
angry.
I've spent my entire life rooting for the Lions. If someone uprooted them and then they finally went away and were successful, like Matt Stafford was hard enough.
Yeah. You
The
would just have
entire
to-
organization.
You would just have to go move to that city so you really could share in that win.
See, I don't know if I could.
I think the Carolinas could use a baseball team as well.
Oh, for sure.
That's a good one.
Like a Coastal League baseball
Yeah.
team down there.
Here's a fun one. Speaking of
They
baseball,
got Myrtle Beach. They got the Pelicans. They always do well.
what about St. Paul has a baseball team called the Singles?
The what?
The Singles.
The
The
singles.
singles.
I guess it's rival to the Twins.
Yeah, the Twin Cities.
Twin
The singles.
Cities, the Singles, the
That's
Twins.
cute, man.
See, it was more like kind of fun. It's like
Yeah.
dad joke.
That is a dad joke.
It was a dad joke. It was a dad joke.
The singles.
The Singles.
The
That'd be
solos.
kind of, and they have single pinstripe. That'd be dope.
Iowa has a
one
big
stripe.
population, and football would be huge there. Brandon Katz says.
Yeah,
It's crazy
That's
when
what I
you
thought,
do
like,
look at the map.
Alabama. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's crazy when you do look at the map of like where the teams are located. You get up into that like Pacific Northwest and a
Yeah.
little bit east of that, and there's no professional representation. And like Montana's got nothing.
That's because there's like there's not
three
enough
people?
There's not enough. There's not enough connectivity.
Right.
Like there's towns that are so spread out where it's like little pocket of people here, and then you got to drive 100 miles. Little pocket of people here, you drive. So like they're so spread out that you can't have like a unified base like this where it's everybody here, everybody in the metropolitan area. Those states don't have metropolitan areas.
Yeah, hell, they don't even have enough to play 11-on-11 football. That's why it's like 7-on-7 up there.
You got to like call your buddy, like, hey man, you want to come 40 minutes to play 5-on-5?
Hey, Kentucky had the Colonels in the ABA,
Yep.
and they almost came to the NBA. They were one of the teams that were going to come over. Dan Issel,
Yeah.
big guy, loved Kentucky.
Was that any relation to KFC, or was it just
No.
irony that
I think it was
the
irony.
Kentucky Colonels?
He might have owned them.
Okay.
Colonel Sanders might have owned the Kentucky Colonels.
man.
But
KFC
bring them
got in
back.
trouble.
Bring back the Kentucky Colonels in the NBA.
KFC got in trouble the other day, at least the Trinidad and Tobago version of KFC.
So an article came out about what players each team in the NFL should let go and move on from. I was actually surprised about who they said the Lions should let go, but let's talk about that coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. That is Braylon Edwards, and I almost stole your line, Braylon.
It's all good, man. It's Woodward Sports Network, the bottom line.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
SMA has been leveraging pro athletes and other notables for over a decade against the issues around mental health and substance use disorder. I myself have worked with SMA now for going on 5 years, in April actually. With the help of NFL alumni Sean Jordan and my mentor, he has been able to save lives and take a stand against these issues. Coming soon, actually already started this week, is the podcast called The F Word, and the F Word is for fentanyl, getting these issues out here, addressing them, and really having people dive deep on air so you guys can see the playback week after week after week. If you're struggling with the abuse, or if you're struggling with substance abuse or mental health, they are here to help. Go to thesportsma.com, thesportsma.com for all your answers and questions.
Welcome back to the bottom line. It is Friday. Everybody's feeling good, ready for the weekend. Braylon, what you got planned for this weekend? Anything special?
Birthday weekend was last weekend. It was All-Star game. The weekend before that, it was the Super Bowl. The weekend before, it's like the weekends, everything just keeps happening.
Recovery weekend?
I'm just relax and chill, man.
Nice.
I'm gonna just sit back, relax, probably, some of that Darren McCarty in me, and, just relax out.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to have the Darren and McCarty in me all weekend. Oh, wait, pause.
Yeah, pause. Major
Damn
pause.
it. Don't clip that, Easy. Don't clip
major
that.
Pause. Major pause.
I'm heading to Jersey for the weekend.
Nice.
Go see my family.
What's going on in Jersey, big guy?
Go see my family, celebrate my birthday with my Jersey
There you
peeps.
go. February
family.
18th, man. Star was born.
Family.
I got the Dua Lipa concert tonight.
Oh.
And tomorrow night I get to do color commentary for the Catholic League Championship game.
Who's playing who?
Orchard Lake St. Mary's with Catholic Central down at Eastern.
should have guessed.
Yes.
Shout out to
have
Bishop
guessed.
Foley, by the way. The girls basketball team, they're making their way through the Catholic League Championships as well.
Yeah, it is. I love this time of year for high school basketball, man. We're starting to get into the big tournament, but all the
Nuts and bolts,
divisional
man.
tournaments are wrapping up. So yeah, I'll be at Eastern on Saturday.
You know what tournament I used to love when I was in high school is, and even when I wasn't in high school, to go and watch. Remember that UAD Christmas tournament? Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that used to be the best one. They used to have the best stars, man, the up and comers. Oh, it was the best UAD Christmas tournament.
Yeah, and I
Nothing
always
like
loved
it.
Operation Friendship between the Catholic League
Catholic
and the
and public
PSL.
school.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's always a fun matchup too.
Yeah, it's always like, we hate you guys, we hate you. Like, well, it was up to our parents. It wasn't up to us. So,
I was just born here. What
I
you
know,
want
right?
from me?
They sent me here. It's not my fault. I played for both, so it was always good. I would play for King, and then I went to Bishop Gallagher, so I was on both sides.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, man.
Yeah.
You get accepted on both ends.
Hey, man,
so
you
let's talk about this. An article came out about what every NFL team, one player that they should let go from their roster. And obviously, we looked at all of them, but we focus on the Detroit Lions. And who they suggested was Trey Flowers. Trey Flowers should be the one that the Detroit Lions let go, and here is the reasoning behind it. It says, this isn't a knock on the Lions organization, which is in the midst of a rebuild, but at this point, Flowers' career, he could be a great asset to a championship contender or a playoff-ready franchise. At 28, Flowers is a two-time Super Bowl champion with New England, but was injury-plagued this past season for the Lions, which forced the team to place him on IR for the second straight season after he hurt his knee. His contract could be an issue, though, after Detroit gave him $90 million over 5 years, and in 2019 with a $56 million guarantee.
Hey, way to go, Detroit.
That is a salary cap hit if they let him go, but I also understand Eric Woodyard's point there is, hey, man, the guy's been injured for 2 years. You're a rebuilding team. This is an asset that maybe, like the Rams went after a Von Miller.
Right.
This may be an asset that you could turn for something. Do you guys agree that's the one guy that the Lions should move on from?
I don't think they should move on for him personally. I think the organization has changed. The coaches, the culture that Dan Campbell and Eric Glenn are bringing to this team. You saw the team buy in all of last year, especially in the month of December. You really saw those guys buy in. Look, you can't control injuries. Injuries happen. It sucks. But hopefully this is a situation where he was healthy enough to play, but they just held him back, slowed his progress down because their vision for him was this season. You got 2 Super Bowl wins. That's invaluable. You talk about leadership. You talk about wanting to have guys that have that leadership, that have been there, that can tell you how to get there, what guys did to get to the big moment, to get to the big dance and win. He's a guy that has that. You see his early on production. I think he's 28. He's young. He's playing on the defensive line. It's not like playing quarterback. It's not like missing 2 years and getting into that type of rhythm. Defense, a little bit easier to get back in rhythm. I think you keep him. He's 28. He's $32 million left. I think he's a key piece for us. We're trying to shore up that defensive line. Him on the defensive line, you mix in Aiden Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau, depending on who drafts well. I think you keep him, at least for this year. If you want to make moves next year, but I think go for it. This is a different regime with a player that has skill.
Now, he came over with the Patriots games, obviously. He came over.
The old England Patriots?
Yep. If I can get a draft pick for him, a decent-sized draft pick, 5th or 4th, I would deal him. Otherwise, I'd keep him, like Braylon said. He's 28.
Yeah.
I don't think he has a bad attitude. I think he's a good guy. But Jamie Collins, they let go last year because, he was a little bit older than that. And, of course, who picked him up?
Of attitude
yeah, and who else picked him up? The Patriots.
That's what they do.
And they probably picked this guy up as well.
Somebody wants to throw a bag of cash at him. I have no problem with that. Hey, here you go. I'll take that bag of cash. I'll take some of that draft capital, as Neil Rule always likes to talk about. But if nobody's doing that, hell, this is a good piece. A guy, like you said, has won. He's a good motor when he's healthy. He wreaks havoc. Put a guy alongside of him. I like it.
Yeah, I think why it's so easy for some people to move on from Trey Flowers is because it's been 2 years and we really haven't seen him. So he's kind of like out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, part of me forgot that he was even on the damn roster. He didn't play at all.
I did too, to be honest.
I mean,
I'm being honest,
seriously, when that popped up, I was like, wait, we still have Trey Flowers?
You talking about the guy from the page? Oh, no, he is on.
Oh, yeah, we gave that dude $90 million.
Patricia and Bob Quinn. I mean, and Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Patriot games. Yeah. No, you had it right. Bob
Quinn.
Bob Quinn.
Yeah.
Dan Quinn's in Dallas.
Oh, man.
So,
when is he going to be the head coach is going to be the question.
Of Dallas? Pretty quickly. I mean, McCarthy's wearing
If McCarthy goes, it's Sean Payton's job.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hands down.
Well, that was for the Lions, and then there's some other players around the NFL that they said could move on from. And interesting enough, a guy that we've discussed several times for the Lions to pick up at wide receiver, Allen Robinson was the one they suggested from Chicago to move on from. And it says, it wasn't long ago Robinson was the guy in Chicago, but in 2021, everything changed. He and Justin Fields never connected in a meaningful way, while the second-year man, Darnell Mooney, emerged as the rookie's go-to guy. He can also be a solid number 2, while the Bears search for a number 1. At this point, Robinson is likely fitting a square peg into a round hole. He just needs to move on, and that is from Jesse Rogers. And that's a fair point about Darnell Mooney, but I think another fair point you got to make is whenever a backup quarterback comes in, the guy that they're practicing with on that second squad is going to be their go-to guy because they're comfortable, right?
You legitimately took the words out of my mouth.
Sorry.
It's no. I'm glad. I love talking with guys that know what the hell they're talking about. I was going to say the same exact thing. The reason why Allen Robinson didn't practice with Justin Fields is because Allen Robinson knew the guy was Andy Dalton. So that's the guy that that's the guy they promoted. That's the guy that Matt Nagy said, hey, this is the guy we're going with, Andy Dalton. If I'm a starting wide receiver, then who am I practicing with? I'm going to practice with the guy that's number 1, exactly like you said. So insert space for Darnell Mooney to grow with Justin Fields. But also, I agree with that article. It's time for him to move on.
Speaking of Matt Nagy.
Oh, boy.
I think it's time for him to move on. Maybe he moves on to Detroit.
Matt Nagy signed with the Chiefs as their quarterbacks coach.
What?
Yeah. Matt Nagy is with the Kansas City Chiefs as their quarterback
coach. The most ironic
coach.
hire of the year so
far. Is that
far.
unbelievable?
The guy that couldn't figure out his quarterback situation in Chicago pulls Mitch Trubisky when you're 3-0.
What's he going to tell Mahomes?
Right.
So Matt Nagy was known before he became the head coach of the Chicago Bears. He was a quarterback guy. He was a quarterback guru. That's kind of why they brought him in. You start working. You draft Mitchell Trubisky because you have a guy that knows his stuff, as they say. One problem is what guys are when they become head coaches, they get away from. Like when you have that head coach job dumped in your lap, if you're good at offense or good at defense or you're good at quarterbacks or you're good defensive line, you're not just focusing on that because now you got to monitor the coaches, got to monitor the players, you got to monitor the front office, you got to monitor everything else. So you don't have the time to necessarily pay attention to just Mitchell Trubisky. Right. Pay attention to just Justin Fields. Now, I'm not letting him off the hook completely because what he did last year was negligent, was awful, and he deserved to get fired. But maybe now being the QB coach again, maybe now just focusing on Mahomes, who had struggles last year. In that 8-game winning streak, Mahomes wasn't the reason they were winning. It was because of Melvin Ingram and that defense.
Right.
He played bad. You saw what happened in the second half of the AFC Championship game against the Bengals. So maybe this is what they both need. Maybe this can refocus and recenter Nagy, and maybe this can help Mahomes out as well.
Well, if I'm Nagy, I'm jumping for joy. I got Patrick Mahomes that can put me back on the map. You know, that's
100%.
That's something where if this does go well in Kansas City, he's going to get another head coaching job.
Any increase in Patrick Mahomes this season, whether it's first downs, whether it's passing completion percentage, whether it's yards, whether it's touchdowns, whether it's less interceptions, any increase is immediately going to be given to Matt Nagy. So like you said, he's in a great position right now, especially when the Chiefs have the second best odds to win the Super Bowl, and Patrick Mahomes has the best odds to be MVP, tied with Josh
There's some
Allen.
people in life that just have a knack of falling up. I've seen it a million times, and this is a falling up position.
This is falling up at its finest.
Yes.
But I'm not complaining.
No, me neither. Well, there's another Lion on this list from Pittsburgh.
Cut him.
Eric Ebron is who these guys think
Come on, man.
that should be let go.
Definitely.
From the Steelers.
You don't even have
obviously,
to read this. Cut him.
Obviously, Fairmouth has had a nice rookie year, but Ebron entered the Steelers training camp as a #1 tight end, but rookie Pat Fairmouth built a strong connection with the quarterback Ben Roethlisberger and supplanted Ebron as the top tight end target by midseason. Ebron set to become a free agent, had a career-low 18 targets in 2021, down significantly from 91. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty significant in his first year with the Steelers. After the season-ending knee injury on a touchdown against the LA Chargers in Week 11, Ebron spent the majority of his rehab with his family away from Pittsburgh. Ebron has the talent and the athletic ability to be a receiving threat, but no return to his 2018 Pro Bowl form. He needs a fresh start, and that is from Brooke Pryor. So you agree? Just get rid of him? Oh, you got Freiermuth, right?
I refuse to sit here and talk about Eric Ebron when I'm talking about Pat Freiermuth. Pat Freiermuth is the truth. Maz loves him. Maz talking about, when I hear Freiermuth, I think of Frankenmuth, and I love Frankenmuth, so I automatically love Freiermuth. The guy is dope, man. The guy is dope. Anytime you can get a guy on your team in any sport where the fans can do the boo chant, but they're not booing,
right?
You got to have that guy in your squad. He's got to be moo.
That move thing.
Remember they used to do Heath?
Of course.
Oh, my God, for Heath Miller.
They love the tight end position.
I'm telling you, man. And they do it the right way. Freiermuth and Eric Ebron. I'm not hating on him. I hope he comes back. I hope he's able to rehab his knee and get back to some playing form. I mean, he had 14 touchdowns for the Colts in 2018.
He broke out that season, but that was Andrew Luck. A lot of that was Andrew Luck.
So I think for him, the key is to make the best decision possible. Like, look at the landscape, get with your agent, pick a good spot for you to be. I don't think Pittsburgh's there.
If that guy was drafted by any other team besides us, we would probably be saying, hey, Eric Ebron's all right. We should bring him. We should bring him here.
Yeah, we love him and his hoof hands.
Yeah. Come on, God.
The one thing was he played for a bad team, but he also couldn't catch the ball.
Yes.
Like, trust me, I've dropped some passes. I had a bad year, but it was years, plural.
Well, there's a couple more people on this list that I want to get to, so let's do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani today. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. I'm proud to partner with Hall Financial, the mortgage company known for 5-star service. Don't just take my word for it. Check out their 5,000 5-star reviews for yourself. Go to callhallfirst.com and get started with your 5-star experience today.
Detroit Sports on Demand.
DeAndre Swift, he's going to take it all the way for the touchdown. Open in the corner, triple.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app today. Take us with you everywhere you go. Search Woodward Sports Network or WSN Live.
Hey, everybody, it's Maz from MyBookie.ag, where I put my sports wagering in. Awesome interface, easy to use, and use that promo code Woodward if you're a first-time sports gambler. MyBookie.ag or MyBookie.com. That's the place for you. Use promo code Woodward to double your first deposit all the way up to $1,000. Bet that NHL, the over-unders on the NHL, NBA back in full swing now. It's the second half of the season. Who do you like to bring it home in the East this year? Will it be the Nets? Could it be the Sixers or the Bucks? Are they going to complete and repeat? We'll find out. Baseball hopefully coming back soon. You can bet football futures. Just do it at mybookie.ag and use promo code Woodward. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with my bookie. If you have a gambling problem, please use the Michigan Gambling Problem Hotline, 1-800-270-7117.
And welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for being a part of the show today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Smash that like button right now. We want to get that thing up there. We're talking about NFL teams and who they should let go. It came out as an article, and the Lions, we obviously saw Trey Flowers is who they picked. Yep. For Pittsburgh, it was Eric Ebron. For Chicago, it was Allen Robinson. And there's 3 more names that I thought were interesting on this list. O.J. Howard in Tampa Bay is who they said they should let go. And, Alex, if you have the reasoning for that.
He just never got it going, man, there.
The 19th overall pick in 2017, he had a few bouts with bad luck in the form of injuries, ruptured an Achilles that ended his season prematurely in 2020, and the team expressed faith in him by picking up his 5th-year option last season. But even when Rob Gronkowski missed 5 games in 2021 due to injury, Howard was still nowhere to be found. He managed just 14 catches for a career-low 135 yards in 17 regular season games. He bettered that mark in just 4 games last year, and he's set to become a free agent. Jenna Lane wrote that. I'm kind of shocked that O.J. Howard isn't like the Kyle Pitts that we thought. You know, when he came out, O.J. Howard was talked about as being next up, right? And then you get Rob Gronkowski. That kind of muddies the water there in Tampa Bay. And that may have sent the wrong message to O.J. Howard, but they re-signed him to his 5th-year option, like they said. And he's just never prevailed. But I still think this kid's got talent in the tank.
The interesting thing is even before they brought in Rob Gronkowski, they brought in Cameron Brate. And they brought in Cameron Brate first, then they brought in Rob Gronkowski. So it's kind of like a double, hey, you're not doing anything. You're right about O.J. Howard. When he came out of Alabama, like to this day, I believe he's the all-time leader in national championship touchdowns and yards because he played in 3. I think he had 5 touchdowns. He had over 300 yards, including 200 yards in one game. I don't know what happened. I don't know where along the lines he lost. I'm making speculation now. It seems like he just doesn't love football like he did at Alabama. It just seems like he hasn't been placed in the right situations. And it's not because they're not throwing the ball. Right. Even before Tom Brady got there, you still had Jameis who threw 30 for 30. You know what I'm saying? So they were airing the ball out. So they always have been airing the ball out. I think he needs a change of pace. I think he needs a new I think he needs a new spot. I think they need to just cut ties with him because it doesn't seem like he's going to get it going there. And it seems like it's too much going on in Tampa. Is Tom staying? Is Tom not going? Is Bruce Arians a problem? Is it Tom bringing in Tom? Oh, here's AB. AB's going through this. Godwin's contract is coming up. Mike Evans is thinking about the defensive side. Right. I think he needs to go somewhere where he can focus on him. It's been too much focus in Tampa that hasn't been placed on him. He might need that. He might be a guy that he needs you to hold his hand. He may need you to talk to him. He may need you to compliment him. He may need you to tell him where to go and what to do. He may be a guy like that. It ain't happening in Tampa.
I'd take a roll on him here.
Yeah.
He'd come here cheap. I'd take a chance on him. You don't know what you're going to do with Hawkinson going forward.
Well, he's going to demand a lot of money on Jesse James and guys like that. So, yeah, I'd take a flyer on O.J. Howard.
For sure. If the price is right.
I would. It's going to be right because he doesn't have anything to show for it. All he has right now to show for it is that he was drafted in the 1st round in 2017. He doesn't have any stats to prove some money he's deserves.
Dan Campbell's a tight end. That's a good selling point.
There you go.
Are you a Hawkinson guy?
I like Hawk. I don't know if I want to pay him.
Okay.
I don't know if I want to pay him.
I was a Noah Fant guy.
Noah Fant guy, okay.
Like when the Lions drafted Hawkinson at 5, I was like, I didn't even think he was the best tight end on his team. I thought it was Noah Fant. And then they tried to sell me on the fact that he blocked and Noah Fant didn't. And then I watched Hawkinson. They don't make Hawkinson block. So it's like, where are we going with that? I was a Noah Fant guy.
Okay. Yeah, I like Hawkinson. To me, it's frustrating, though, because, right, every sign pointed to him being the next great tight end. Like last year in fantasy football, everyone was saying, this guy's going to be a top 3, top 5 guy. Yeah. And he puts up numbers from time to time, but it's not consistent.
And it's not all his fault either.
No.
It's one of those weird situations where it's, like just look at the offensive output from game 1 to game 9. Like, that's not on Hawkinson. That's not on him. But
no, because they had no one else to throw to. What do they do? Double team him.
All you got to do with tight ends, if you don't have anybody else to throw the ball to, they put the safety or linebacker over. You beat him up at the line of scrimmage. He was getting beat up last year at the line of scrimmage, and then you put the safety over top. So that's not all on
He took a beating, absolutely.
Yeah.
He is a beaten. What's he been? 3 years?
Yeah, 3 years.
4. Yeah,
He's like in dog years. He's up to like 8 years.
Yeah, I feel like we've had him forever, honestly. Another guy on this list is actually somebody that I know a bunch of Lions fans are interested in, and somebody that they may want to see in the Honolulu blue and silver, N'Keal Harry. Now, he was a highly touted draft pick out of Arizona State.
Right.
The Patriots spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver on him, which they haven't done in years. So you thought, all right, this guy's going to be all-world. You're putting him with Tom Brady. Like, this guy's going to be the man. And he just hasn't performed at all.
He can't stay on the field.
But he's 6'4". He's he's built like DK Metcalf. He has every opportunity and every tool to be a great wide receiver.
He was that big.
Oh,
he's a big guy.
Big guy.
He's a big dude. Yeah, he's a big guy, and if I'm looking at it from the Patriots standpoint, I know he's been hurt. He hasn't stayed on the field, but he's still a guy that we chose to take number 1. I mean, in the first round. You got to look at it from the Patriots' point of view. They never draft wide receivers in the first round. Hell, I don't even remember their first-round draft picks. It usually seems like they draft some type of offensive lineman or defensive lineman. So with that being said, they were high on him. That means they're still high on him. They got to give him a chance to get healthy, got to give him a chance to get back. I stay with him this year and see what happens. You know, Matt Jones is going to need it. Like that gauntlet that is the AFC, you saw it this year. You got the Bengals, you got the Chargers, you have the Raiders, you have the Buffalo Bills, etc. team here, the Chiefs. Got to keep N'Keal Harry and see what he can do for one more year to help Mac Jones out. Or Mac Jones, I keep him.
Yeah, he's only 24 years old.
I keep him.
Only 24, and everybody's already kind of like throwing him out with the bathwater. I don't understand.
He's still under a rookie deal?
Yeah.
I keep him. Whatever you saw 3 years ago, it's in there. Let's give it one more chance.
I'll trade him Trey Flowers for him.
There we go. I mean, the salary caps don't match up, but I'll take it. One more guy on this list, Jarvis Landry from Cleveland. And
that's your guy.
Yeah.
Get him out of there.
While playing through injury last season, Landry finished with just 52 catches, 570 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns, though he had 2 more on the ground and didn't do a single interview through the team after Odell Beckham Jr. was released midseason. Landry has an upcoming cap hit of $16.6 million, but no guaranteed money left, which is very important, creating an opportunity for the Browns to move on should they want to. Landry said Tuesday that he would, quote, like to stay in Cleveland, but added that he is confident he can still contribute somewhere else, and Jake Trotter wrote that.
Move on. Like, I actually know Jake Trotter well. Move on from him. And the reason why is he's come out publicly. Whenever someone comes out publicly and he's basically saying, I want to stay here, he doesn't. He's doing that for optics. It's like, I want to stay here, but he doesn't want to stay there. He wants to follow the same path that his best friend Odell Beckham followed. Got out of there, went to the Rams, won the Super Bowl. He feels as though he's done everything. He's played as much as he can. He never was hurt until this past year. He's given everything. He's been quiet. He's been a consummate professional and pro. He's done the things possible to get him out of there and get him to a better situation. He hasn't done that much with the Browns, whether it's injury, whether it's quarterback, hasn't lived up to that contract. And he was hurt last year. You said you're going to get healthy. You said you're going to bet on yourself. I will move on for him and move him somewhere. If I'm the Lions, that's a situation I will go after depending on the price stuff once again.
You think he'd want to go from Cleveland to here?
I'm just saying not about him. I'm saying the Lions, what I would pursue. I will pursue Jarvis Landry. Would he want to come here? No. But as much credit as we give Brad Holmes for his vision that we're starting to kind of see, we talk about Dan Campbell and him being a coach and a leader of men. You never know what can happen when you get guys into a room. We may say, no way in hell Jarvis Landry comes here. He may get in the room with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, and they might put that Detroit charm on him, and he might sign up.
All right.
I doubt it, but it's wishful thinking.
He's got the talent to go somewhere and be a true number 1.
Agreed.
He really does.
The Lions are going to get a veteran wide receiver in here, and they're also going to draft a rookie wide receiver. This team's going to look different next season.
Yeah.
They're heading in the right direction.
From Jarvis, man. I guess, I was getting the wheels turned inside my head, but they got to get a quarterback.
Remember when they got Anquan Bolden here? I mean, he played really well here.
Yeah,
really well.
Anquan went, he seemed to find he sent to play.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Well, huh?
Borderline. Is he a Hall of Famer?
You know what he is, and this is a great conversation. He's one of those Frank Gore type players.
You just don't know about them.
The time that they played, the length of their careers, the duration of their careers, they played for long times. They were always dependable, but it was like they played for so long that their stats accumulated. But I mean, Anquan's a Super Bowl winner. He's 5-time Pro Bowler. His rookie year, I think, still has the record For wide receiver, no, it was
He kicked our ass his rookie year. Didn't he have like 200 yards and 2 touchdowns?
That was his
against
first
us?
game.
Everyone's like, "Why did we draft that Calvin Johnson guy? We could have gotten him."
He's a beast, too.
He's
Calvin
older
worked
than
out
Calvin.
all right.
He's older. He was 2004 draft. No, 2003 draft.
Okay.
And Anquan's out. He's a little older.
Well, how about some rapid fire? You ready for some rapid fire
Let's do it,
questions?
man.
All right, we're going to do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. Can't wait to get these rapid fire questions
Alex
out
did a
there.
hell of a job with the rundown today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, can we give it up for Alex for doing
Yes.
the production
I'm
today?
proud of him.
Thank you. Thank you.
My family.
He picked me up.
We'll be right back. This is the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is the bottom line.
Everything that we've hoped for finally.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Braylon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
It's all happening now.
And a miraculous catch.
Follow us everywhere. Just search Woodward Sports on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, IG, and more.
Hey, everybody, this will be a great weekend for you guys to try out foaling. What is foaling? It's throwing a football at bowling pins, the same length as a bowling lane, and it's in Hamtramck. Check it out, the Foaling Warehouse, and ask for Chris in Noni Hut. Tell him the gang from Woodward Sports sent you. It's a great way to play. You can go by yourself, bring some friends, bring your family. It's a corporate event as well. Have your party there. It's great fun. 2 ways to play. It is $10, unlimited open play. You can go when they open, leave when they close, and you got a 2-hour lane reservation. $120 it'll cost you, and you can have 10 people on a lane. You can bring your own food in or have it delivered. They got multiple full bars, and they have that 100 beers, over 100 beers, and a $2 mystery beer machine. Put those $2 in and see what you get out. It's all fun. Come get your foal on. Do it now. It's a great indoor sport. Check them out, foalingwarehouse.com.
Welcome back to the Bottom Line, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you to everybody that's in the chat right now. I love even when I say a wrong statement, we get corrected in the chat. Well, it's like we have stat checkers in the chat to make sure we're staying on course. So appreciate that. Charles Rogers is who the Lions drafted that year. Yep. So that was that year.
Yeah, Charles Rogers was the second pick in 03.
Yep.
And then 04, Roy Williams.
And Rogers was, I mean, when he was on the field and healthy, Rogers was a problem.
Yeah, his collarbone, man. He kept getting collarbone.
Twice. Yep, twice. And
That's tough,
on diving catches, too. So, that's what even hurts more is that the guy was giving all-out effort every time, too.
Yeah, it's tough, too. Like, once you do that collarbone, like, once it becomes a little more tentative, a little more soft, easier to injure, and then you do it again. Now you yourself, you're, like, wondering. You're, like, kind of, like, very tentative in terms of trying to catch balls. You're like, I don't want to give it all, or I don't want to raise it all because you're scared it's going to get hurt again. So, yeah, Charles Rogers. Rest in peace, Chuck.
That's what scares me about drafting Aiden Hutchinson. Just a hometown guy. And I know Charles Rogers and Aiden Hutchinson are 2 different people, but you had a chance to take Andre Johnson with that pick, and you take Charles Rogers. And the two, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, but I don't think that was a talent issue. I think if Rogers stays healthy,
If he would've went to
I think
Houston,
he's putting up numbers similar.
If they would have split and went to Houston and Andre comes here, I think they both really would have done
more
a lot
success.
better.
Yeah. Did you know Charles Rogers? Because that's around our era,
personally,
right?
That's my boy.
Yeah.
I know him personally. I used to hang out with him a lot. He played against him in Michigan State when I was in Michigan. I almost went to Michigan State. Shocker, right?
You almost went to Michigan State?
I almost went to Michigan State. So
Did you go there for recruiting and all that stuff?
They offered me a scholarship. They offered me in the summer going into my senior year. So that was my first big offer.
Okay.
Was Michigan State.
Who was the coach? Was that John L. Smith?
Bobby Williams.
Bobby Williams. Okay.
Bobby Williams. That's why I didn't go.
Is it?
That's why I didn't know. I knew he didn't know what
Good
he was
choice.
doing. Like, I just didn't feel like he knew what he was doing. My dad knew that he didn't know what he was doing, so we decided not to go. And then Michigan came in the 23rd and 3/4 hour and offered me a scholarship. And how could I turn it down?
Man.
You believe they waited that long?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to wait for the good stuff, you know?
Yeah, I'm not tripping. You know, there's been many of stories because Michigan actually had Reggie Williams. Reggie Williams was 2004. He was first-round draft pick, number 11 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. He was a huge talent. I watched it. Actually, they beat us my freshman year out in Washington. We beat them second year. He was a guy, and he was committed to Michigan, and then he decommitted. And the story is because he decommitted, they offered me. I'm like, I don't care what the story is.
Right.
I got all the records.
I don't care how I got here, but I got there,
I'm
and you
here.
cashed in when you got there. Did you have like any Michigan love growing up? Was there any bias or?
My dad went to Michigan. Like, it was all Michigan.
Okay.
Like, I didn't love anything or anything else but Michigan. You name big moments from the time I was born to the time I went there. I was there. Charles Woodson punt return.
Oh, yeah.
Desmond's punt return.
I was at that game too.
Desmond's punt return.
When he punked David Boston.
The Hail Mary. Cordell Stewart. I was at that game. You name it, I was there.
Oh wow, man! You were at that Cordell Stewart game.
I was there. We were walking up. We was walking up section 23. Walking up, and we stopped, turned around. Saw Mike Westbrook come down, a Detroit guy, went to McKenzie High School. My dad was so pissed. Never seen my dad that mad. He didn't listen to the radio on the way home. He used to listen to WWJR to catch out what was going on with the post games, the interviews. We didn't listen to SHIT.
Slash the Westbrook.
Yes. Ugh. What a nasty thing to happen to Michigan.
That's what you call karma. Michigan wouldn't recruit Westbrook, wouldn't come to Detroit to get those guys, and they got burned.
That's just crazy to me. Like, you know, I'm a big. I love like the butterfly effect, and I love like, you know, like certain decisions here lead to massive decisions down the road, and you know, things like that. Like, you had an offer to go to Michigan State, and they were the first to offer you. If you jumped on that, just how different life in general would be. Not only for you, but for me and Alex Mayer over there, and anybody who was a Michigan fan.
Mayer might have been a Michigan guy,
right?
You never know. If I went to State, he might have went to Michigan. You just never know. But hey, it's fun to wonder, and it's fun to think back. But here we are.
Yeah, no, well, you definitely made the right decision for college, man, and it was a lot of fun to watch you play at Michigan, because I don't have any allegiance to either. I just like good sports, and those Michigan teams were a lot of fun to watch.
But those are the fun people, is the people that don't have the allegiance, the people that can literally be kind of like Maz. Like, even though he says he's more Michigan than Michigan State, but he's down the middle. You know, he'll call us, because you guys keep us honest. Like, if you're having a battle with, let's say me and Al May are arguing, you could come in as a non-biased and be like, Braylon, Al May is right on this one. I'm like, F you. Or you could be like, hey, you know what, Al May, Braylon's right on this one. So
who you like tomorrow, by the way? MSU or Purdue?
It's a tough one because Michigan State hasn't been playing well. But I think it's one of those games where Tom Izzo is ready for it. These are the big games down the stretch that Tom Izzo. If I was putting money on a game, I would bet on Izzo and State. I think they're going to play well. And I think they're going to win by about, I would say, 8.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got them winning.
It's almost Izzo time. So
it is Izzo time.
Yeah, they're going to start ratcheting it up. All right, let's get into some quick rapid-fire questions here. Eric Bieniemy, staying in Kansas City. Do you think this guy's ever going to get a head coaching job?
It's going to be Kansas City. I've said this all.
That's what he's waiting on?
He's waiting for this. Andy Reid is an honest guy. If you see a lot of the players that have played for him in Philly, or a lot of coaches, they always tend to come back to him. Players come back to him. Nobody says anything negative about him. He's an honest man. And he's kind of private. I guarantee you, he has told Eric Bieniemy, just stay with me, just stay in line. As soon as I'm ready to hang him up, he's going to take over. That's why Bieniemy hasn't taken any head coaching job interviews. He hasn't inquired. You're always quiet. Everyone talks about him in the offseason. He never talks. He's waiting for that Chiefs job. Mark my words.
Don't forget, Josh McDaniels been waiting to get that Patriots job, and finally Belichick said, hey, go to the Raiders. I'm not retiring yet, but he did get a head coaching job. That's the second one.
And a damn good one.
Yeah, you got a really
telling you,
good one.
they are legitimately Devontae Adams away from being that Super Bowl team, and actually maybe even the favorites in the AFC West.
Could be.
All right, Odell Beckham Jr. is confident in his return for next year. You tore your ACL. You think he's going to be back?
He tore his ACL twice in the same one. I tore one. Listen, he'll be back. I think he'll get back. Frank Gore has proven that you can come back from multiple ACL surgeries. Thomas Davis, the linebacker for Carolina, he came back from multiple ACL surgeries, as in the NFL. He works hard. Like, you see his videos in the offseason, Odell works extremely hard. I believe he'll come back. He's a different individual now. It's just, what do you want to pay him to come back? It's just, what type of chance do you want to take him to come back? When I came back, the first month is about flexibility. It's about getting that knee to bend. It's about getting that swelling out of there. The next month is about strengthening the next couple of months and starting to play on it, starting to go vertical like we talked about. And then slowly but surely, month 5, starting to go lateral, starting to make some cuts. He'll be back. It's just about at what price. Who's going to take that chance, and what are they going to spend to get a guy coming off an injury that happened in February, which means his target date back is probably going to be September, October.
You don't think the Rams will re-sign him? We talked about it. You said he ain't going anywhere. He's staying in L.A.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go anywhere. But it's about what they're looking at. You know what? I think the Rams and John McVay, if he stays, I think they're loyal individuals. They realize they bought him to get a Super Bowl. They bought Von Miller. He got hurt winning a Super Bowl for them. They re-signed him.
I think so.
That's the right thing. It's the right thing to do.
I'll leave it there. They seem like a right organization.
Right.
I think they keep him. They reward him with a contract and letting him get down. But
they got one more run in them. They got one more run in them.
Yeah.
Why not keep him?
Yeah, they got at least another 2-3 years. You got to ride till the wheels fall off.
About 2-3 years.
No, they got 1 year because Aaron Donald's going to leave. Everyone's going to start leaving.
Yeah, winning cures a lot of that, though. We'll see.
But
we'll see.
It masks a lot. If you can't win, that's when things disband.
Right.
Look at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very true.
Yeah.
All right, one last rapid fire here. Wayne Gretzky offers advice to Andrew Whitworth about retirement. He says, "Hey, Whit, there's only one thing better than winning one Super Bowl, and that's winning two." I love that quote from the great one.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say anything about Wayne Gretzky. Any advice that he gives me, I'm going to take. I had a chance to golf with him this past August. And
really?
I did. We put the pictures up there. D-Mac was there as well. Amazing individual, great guy. He is an icon.
He's a great one.
You feel that. Like, it's only a couple times I've been in the room with somebody. Jordan was one. He was two, where you're just like, oh, yeah, it's right here. I feel it. Yeah, I think like Maz is saying, he's year 16, talking about Wentworth. He has one more. He's a great guy in the community. They love him. Go after it one more year. Go all your tips. Go all in. You saw Aaron Donald without the shirt on at the rally. He said, hey, if we can bring the super team back one more time, let's get the Justice League back. So I'd say, by all means, one more time. But not more than that, though.
Yeah, and shout out to Wayne Gretzky for Paulina Gretzky as well. Great job on that.
Janet Jones had a little something to do with that.
Yeah, Janet Jones, good for you too.
Shout out to Dustin Johnson for locking that down.
Yeah, Dustin, and that's a great relationship. Yeah. How they act in public's amazing. So yeah, the great one produces no matter where he's at. So good job, Wayne Gretzky. All right. There's a debate going on, and I kind of started it last night on Twitter, and my Twitter's been blowing up ever since. And I want to get some young guys' opinions on this. I want to get some older guys' opinions on this. And luckily, Nick Leach is here. Maz is taking off, going to New Jersey. Maz, have a great and safe weekend. Thank you for all you do for us here at Woodward Sports. But when we come up next, we're going to do some Pistons talk. Woo! And it got revealed yesterday that the Pistons are going to have some old, new uniforms. We're going to talk about that next, coming up on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for the one, the only Ryan Armani. That is the one, the only Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
The one and only.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Putting on a show here, and that's how you answer. We love our sports. We just wish they'd love us back. Detroit sports for Detroit sports fans. Woodward Sports.
See you, Maz. Maz is out of here. He got his hair cut right before he left because he wants to go impress the family in New Jersey. And if it's, you're looking to impress some people, it's the weekend, you're going to go out, you have a date, no better place to go than Lady Jane's. You can get that King's treatment where they give you the shoulder rub, they give you the scalp massage, and the haircut that's going to make you feel sexy and confident to walk into any situation. So if it's your weekend and you got some time, make sure you pop in. Walk-ins are always welcome here at Lady Jane's, and the haircuts are absolutely wicked awesome. Welcome back to The Bottom Line right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick. Braylon Edwards is in here. We have Flannel Sam making sure we sound good on sound. Of course, now Nick Leach sitting in the Maz spot.
The younger Maz. I am here, baby.
There you go, young Maz.
Young Maz.
Could you imagine talking to young Maz?
I mean, I could. I don't even know what that would be like.
Just a bunch of Seinfeld quotes. that's all.
No,
I assume.
because Seinfeld probably wasn't even on when he was my age.
Yeah, did it come out in 1910? I don't know.
I mean,
no, we love you, Maz, but it's nice to have Nick Leach sitting in for the last hour. Alex Mayer, of course, in here. And last night, or yesterday it came out that the Pistons next year are going to be rocking the teal uniforms. They're bringing them back, baby. The Detroit Pistons teal jerseys will return for the 2022-23 season as the team's, quote, classic edition uniform. And I know a lot of the young cats here at Woodward Sports have been calling for this for a long time. And I am one of those people. I do not want to see teal on the Pistons ever again in my life. And last night when I saw this pop up, our boy Pistons Talk put that up. I put out a tweet, and it was just like a general thought tweet. And I wake up today, it's got 300 and some retweets and likes and all that good stuff. And it was really simple. It says, and this is my explanation for this. The reason why so many young Pistons fans want teal jerseys back is they never got to experience how bad those teams were. But also, young Pistons fans really haven't experienced any great moments in 14 years, so I kind of get it. But I also have PTSD from the teal uniforms. And since then, my DMs have been lit up. People calling me stupid. People saying the team wasn't that bad then. But also people agreeing with me too. One of the main points is, well, they made the playoffs, 2 out of those 4 years when they were teal. And it's like, listen, if you didn't grow up back then with the bad boy Pistons, you don't understand. Like, to me, the teal was the nail in the coffin.
Right.
Like, it was like, we're done.
That was, yeah.
We're no longer the bad boys. We're no longer going to have that moniker. We're no longer going to be red, white, and blue. We're teal now. Okay. And yes, we had Grant Hill during that time, which is awesome, right? We had Jerry Stackhouse during that time. But we also had John Crotty running point. We had Terry Mills. We had Otis Thorpe.
We had fat Joe Dumars.
Yes, we had inflated Joe Dumars.
Yeah, we had big boy Joe.
When we got Ben Wallace and Chucky Atkins, they rocked the teal for maybe 1 year, but that wasn't.
And Ben Wallace hated those jerseys too.
He should.
He put up a tweet, I want to say probably about a year ago. He sat there and said, he goes, these jerseys, he's like, don't tell a lot of people this, but these jerseys were awful.
So before I get my spiel, I didn't want to double back behind you. I wanted you to give your spiel. You're a little younger than us, so I want to see how you felt about it before I jumped in.
So this is my thought on the whole teal debate. So back in the 90s when those uniforms initially came out, you didn't see a lot of crazy mashups with uniforms across any sport. I would say this kind of all started when the Oregon Ducks really started playing with their uniforms a lot. That's when you saw a lot of these teams or fan bases be like, I kind of want to be like that, be different. Let's do something different, not normal. So for me, I'd say, that was probably early, maybe right around 2010 or so that started.
When Oregon started?
Yeah.
Oregon started like 06, 07.
Yeah.
But it really picked up like 09, 10.
Yeah, those late 2000s. So for me, I'm only 28 years old now.
Right. And the Pistons haven't won since you were 14, 13?
Right. And so my first memories were kind of like you said, were that 02, 03 of where I really started forming those memories of good basketball teams. So for me, I like both jerseys. I really like the teal because it's different. You don't see a lot of teams have teal in their uniform to begin with. It's unique, and that's what it's unique to Detroit in general. So that's why I like them. That's why I want to see them back.
See, back in the late 90s, teal was it, right? The San Jose Sharks came out with their logo, and everybody loved teal. Like, it was just something that they were doing. And to me, I was just so disgusted. I was so disgusted when the Pistons changed their colors.
Are you guys ready? In the words of Bubba Dub Jr., trash. Them uniforms were trash.
That's right.
And you hit the nail on the head. It literally marked the end of the bad boys, the Pistons. Put the nail in the coffin. It was Don Chaney or Alvin Gentry making Grant Hill play in the playoffs on that bum ankle. He left. He retired from basketball. Had to find himself again in Orlando. Jerry Stackhouse ended up leaving here. Everybody just left. Joe Dumars looked like Joe Dumars at 8 Joe Dumars and his son. Like, that just represents PTSD for me. Now, with that being said, all those throwback jerseys were ugly back then. Like, when jerseys first came out, for the most part, all those jerseys that came out back then were ugly. People were looking at them like, Now when you look back, everybody wants the throwback. So I'm a victim of that too. I like the throwback looking back at it, but I don't want it for a full season. I want it like how certain teams in the NFL wear it like once in a blue moon.
Yeah, I think they'll only wear it 10 games next year,
That's too many. That's too many. They need to wear it like twice. It needs to literally be like, well, they'll never get a Christmas Day game, but it needs to be 2 games, and they need to be meaningful games, and that's it. Like, because you want to keep that mystique about it. Right now, there's mystique because the people that didn't grow up in that era are looking at like, oh, man, like, when did they wear these?
Right.
Well, when we wore them, we were trash. So I think you keep the mystique. You wear it twice a year. I never liked them then. I like them more so now, just like nostalgia. You say it is cool. I will wear it. Everybody loves the throwback type situation. But back then, trash.
I see Easy in the chat saying, yeah, but we suck now and we have Cade Cunningham, though, and that jersey will look great on Cade. It's like, yeah, but we had Grant Hill back then. We had one good player on the team. I'm not saying
Stackhouse was good.
Stackhouse was good. But outside of that, there was nothing else to celebrate. And I don't want to get back into that era where we have Cade Cunningham on the team, but nothing else to celebrate.
Let me ask you guys this. Now, the Piston horse, do you guys as an older generation, do you like the Piston horse or do you like the classic look?
Slap in the face.
Yeah, sitting up here like we're 90 years old or something.
Shoot, we can hang out together.
You don't have Maz sitting in this chair anymore calling you kids anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's true. This is true.
I don't mind the horse. You know, they did a rendition of that with the red, white, and blue in the basketball. I think it was around 04. That was their warm-ups, the white with the horse and the red, white, and blue. And I didn't mind that. And, you know, when Joe Dumars became the GM for the Pistons, like one of his first quotes and one of his first initiatives was getting off the Teal. And his quote was, "I don't bleed Teal." Right. And that struck a chord with me because I've never bled Teal in my life. Red, white, and blue, you're damn right.
Yeah, the horse thing, I'm not a fan of the horse, but I'm not opposed to doing the horse over. And obviously they won't do the horse over now because the horse is what it is. Like, the Teal thing just threw me off, and I'm still against it because I remember Hooper, we got Hooper from those Teal jersey eras. Like, I've always hated this bubbly horse. Like, Hooper's like the worst mascot.
I mess with Mini Hooper, though.
Yeah, okay, I'm cool with Mini Hooper, just like Dink and Doink. I mess with Dink. I never mess with Doink. But, like, my thing is, it's too fluffy and it's not like a horse like I would look at and be intimidated at. When I look at the Denver Broncos, you see a horse, it's a different type of horse. When I look at mascots in the NBA that you watch, whether it's the gorilla for the Phoenix Suns or whether it was, what's the guy in Chicago? He's the best one. Bucky or whatever his name. Benny the Bull. Oh, man, the pranks that he pulls, those are cool mascots. Hooper was like, is he all right? Is he cool? Does he need a friend?
I like Hooper. I'm a mascot guy, so I love the Stanford tree that just roams around. Like, you don't like the tree? The tree's hilarious. Did you ever see when Ugga the dog peed on the Stanford tree?
I did.
It was one of the greatest moments ever in the mascot history.
Because he got peed though.
Damn right. Because he's a tree. That's what made it so funny.
I like cool mascots. Like, there's a mascot in town whose name I won't say that I've always liked, but it's a cool mascot.
Rory?
Sparty, baby.
Oh, you like? Oh,
he's swole. He's ready for war. He's got a mean look on his face. I'm like, how can you not appreciate that at least?
Yeah, I like the Philly fanatic. I just love mascots.
I like Philly. I like the Philly. Was that the race they do? Is that in Philly?
With the presidents?
Yeah, the president's
race.
That's
Washington. Yeah,
that's Washington.
Oh, okay, yeah. I guess that would make sense. Well, they signed the Declaration of Independence in Philly, so I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah, there we go. So let us know what you think in the chat. Do you want the Teal jerseys back?
No.
Are you cool with it? Nick Leach, you come from the young kids, and you think it's cool. Sam Flannel, what do you think of the Teal, man? I got to know.
So, I think the color is pretty cool, but I saw your tweet last night, Stick, and it made me think the Teal jerseys were like the era in between the two greatest Pistons eras of all time.
It was the dull era.
So it was a bridge.
Yeah, it was a bridge, but it wasn't a very good bridge because the other two eras were good. I mean, you had Bad Boys, Going to Work, and right in between these Teal jersey Grant Hill teams that didn't really do anything. So it might be a bad omen to bring them back, and I understand what you're saying, Stick.
See, and I think you exactly get what I'm trying to say. Like, those Teal jerseys represent more than just, oh, those are cool jerseys. It's like, no, Bad Boys are dead. You're never getting that back. And then the minute we get out of them in 2000, we start building towards that 04 championship. So it was like Teal is a curse.
It's kind of like Tampa. Like, I know Maz loves these jerseys. Maz always talks about these jerseys. But remember those super ugly jerseys in the 80s that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers used to wear, like the light orange, like the creamsicle?
The creamsicle.
They were trash.
Yes.
They legitimately won 2 games in 3 years, or 2 years. They wouldn't go back to those. You know why? Because they represent failure. It's the same exact concept.
That is a perfect example. Like, Tampa Bay would never beg to go back to creamsicle.
Can we please go back to when we had, like, the pirate who looked a little questionable that we couldn't win any games from? I mean, come on now.
I would sit here and argue, though, that the era that we're currently, I feel like we're finally coming out of in Detroit sports is the worst era that we've had in probably since the 60s or
The
70s.
14 collective? Yeah, this is the worst era of Detroit sports history.
So switch it up. Do something.
But you don't switch it up by going back.
Yeah, like you got to. I agree with that. Like, definitely switch it up because we need to change the pace. Like, everybody has been bad. And yes, the Tigers and yes, the Red Wings are getting better, but they're still a part of this era that has been bad. Change it, but don't change it to something that we already saw didn't work. If that makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, they did that a couple years ago with the Motor City jerseys that were
the
black.
Motor City,
the black and gray, and people hated those ones. I thought they were cool.
Yeah, I didn't mind that.
I didn't mind those too much.
But I mean,
go back to like the Bad Boys throwback jersey, a black one with like that Bad Boys writing that says Pistons on it. Like that'd be a jersey I'd mess with.
You got to be bad to do that though.
Yeah,
you got to win some games first for you.
I just don't think you can put that any type of like Bad Boy resemblance. You can't put on any team besides the Bad Boys. It just. I mean, there's a way to probably maybe pay homage to that, but I don't know if you can actually like put a Bad Boys jersey on any Piston team for the foreseeable future.
You can make a patch.
Well, while we're talking about the Pistons, they played a hell of a game last night. Let's get into that coming up next on the Woodward Sports Network because Marvin Bagley, welcome to the club, man. This is fun to add this guy. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Pistons coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani today. That is Braylon Edwards. Nick Leach sitting in for Maz.
And this is The Bottom Line.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risks, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
Comerica Park, sunshine, the crack of the bat. More sunshine, warmth. We're almost there, Detroit. Summer 2022 will be the summer of Woodward sports. We just gotta make it through this damn cold first.
Citron World is an aspirational lifestyle beverage brand with a line of sparkling flavored energy drinks and premium bottled water and revitalizer shots. And guess what? They're also not just here to revitalize you, not just here to replenish your water. They're not just here to give you energy. They're here for the moments. They are proud sponsors with the Detroit Pistons as well as the Detroit Red Wings. Now check this out. At my sister's gender reveal, when we found out she's having a baby girl, my sister was drinking some of that Citron water because you know she can't drink anything else. Meanwhile, I had some Citron flavored energy drink with a little bit of that Gypsy Vodka so they can mix it up. But they were here for the moment. Citron was here for my moment with my sister. If you're looking for premium ingredients, long-lasting energy, balanced hydration, essential vitamins, and great taste, Citron has to be your choice. Buy online at citronworld.com with promo code REDWINGS10. Save 10% with shipping included. Citron is more than just a beverage. Like I said, it is a lifestyle enhancer. Drink it, live it with Citron.
Yeah, what's cool is people are starting to order the Citron and getting it
It's
in
dope,
and
man.
posting pictures and tagging us in it. So if you do order Citron, like I said, use that promo code, get the Citron, but take a picture of it and tag us because we like to see when you're sipping on it. Right.
The best thing about it is when we got the Citron stuff in, when we got the drinks, we got the fridge, we now have the Citron fridge over there. I start looking, that Citron start going and going and going. You look in that fridge by the end of the week, it's done.
Yeah, Joey and I were talking about that yesterday. We're putting in some new protocols for anybody who's taking Citron from that fridge. So it's no longer just going to be a free-for-all because we're rolling through cases here. People love it.
These guys are like the Cookie Monster when it comes to the Citron. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that stuff is. It's funny because I noticed when we first started with Citron, we had a couple different cases on top of the office. In Stick's office, it's a bunch of cases. The cases are gone, man.
Nope, they go fast around here. Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Ermani. He'll be back on Monday. Braylon's in here.
Get your butt back. It's time to go to work, Ryan.
Going to work. We got Flannel Sam in the sound booth. Nick Leach is filling in for Maz for this last hour. And, of course, Alex over there in the technical director booth.
Oh, excuse me.
You have to say it like that. He's
No, that's called the deep end. We established this a few weeks ago.
It is the deep end.
It's the deep end.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Good for you, Alex.
So it's okay. Excuse the hell out of
the
me.
Pistons took the Cavaliers to the deep end yesterday, and
I see what you did.
What
right
a
there.
damn good game to watch, and that's back-to-back wins for the Pistons. They won 106-103. Dodged a bullet on that last possession. Like, I'm not gonna lie, they gave up the offensive rebound, had a wide open three that the Cavs missed. It doesn't matter. A W is a W, and the Pistons got it last night, and their new pieces are starting to look pretty good together. Marvin Bagley, I mean, he was dominating in the paint, not only on offense, but on defense. And look at this, behind the back by Cade, alley-oop to Bagley. We weren't seeing that out of our boy Lyles. I'll tell you that much.
Can we take a break? I want to bring you in on this one, Leach. Can we take a break and just be excited that we have something that resembles something that deserves to be on ESPN, that deserves to be an NBA highlight? I was so tired of these basic highlights. Even in wins, you're getting old school highlights. They're boring. That looked like a doggone 2022 highlight. That's what I'm talking about, Cade.
That's the future right there.
And that's the big boy going up and getting. And that's essentially, that right there is the reason why you brought Marvin Bagley here. I mean, you watched a lot of these guys across Pistons Twitter, and they talked about, like, I can't wait to see the alley-oops from Cade to Marvin Bagley. Like, this is just the first time we're really seeing it. Like, get used to it. This isn't going anywhere anytime soon. And our boy Marvin took a little shot at Sacramento. He's like, it's nice to go to a place where the fans actually appreciate you. And you know, if you come in here and put in that hard work, the fans are going to love you. And for him to go out and put up 16 points in what, his third or fourth game as a Piston now, like, the change of scenery seems to be working for him.
That's one thing that Detroit is very special at, and I'm glad you brought that up, Nick, is when you play hard for this city will embrace you like nothing else. Like, take a look at the guy that's on every day here from 11 to 1 o'clock, right? Darren McCarty wasn't the lead of those Red Wings teams, but he gave his heart, he gave his soul, he gave his body, he gave his teeth, he gave his fists, he gave us everything. And literally, I've been out with him, and he is still treated like a god, even though it's 25 years later from when he was on the Red Wings.
As he should. Like, I always tell Darren all the time, he's very humble, whatever, but I'm like, you should never buy a drink in the city of Detroit. Like, what you did for the city of Detroit, what you gave to the city of Detroit to achieve those 4 Stanley Cups, like, it's unprecedented. Like, I would never let him pay. No one should let him pay. But just talking about the Detroit Pistons, when we had the Marvin Bagley piece, the segment that we did when he first got here, I said along those same things. When you're in Sacramento, terrible organization, they're not run the right way, the fans not necessarily really paying attention to them. They're more so worried about what's going on in Golden State and with the 49ers because they're that close, don't really care about Sacramento. Then you're shifting players out of here, you're bringing in other players guys don't know. It's kind of that revolving door of I don't know who I'm playing with. When you get to a place like Detroit where they have an established basketball history, this is bad boys town. Right. Like, this is going to work. Like, we have 2 separate eras that are established in basketball history. You got fans that want to get back to that. They support. They're going to be on, our show, watching our show, comment. They're going to be on 97.1, listening when they talk about the Pistons. They're going to be watching ESPN to see if they mention the Pistons, which they don't. You see that and feel that energy. Marvin's coming here and feeling that. He's revamped. He's back to college. He's back to high school. This is what I wanted to do. This is what I signed up for. Man, watch out. This could be something special.
Yeah, sometimes all you need is that change of scenery, and that's it.
Well, in that highlight, too, I don't know if you guys were – I mean, Sick, you were watching the game last night. But, like, the crowd was actually – that's the loudest I've heard a Pistons crowd for just alley-oop in quite some time. Like, that's – one thing that stood out to me is how loud that crowd actually was.
Yeah, Joey was at the game last night, and he called me on the way home, and he was like, bro, like, LCA was rocking tonight. It was a good time down there. And, let's call a spade a spade. Since they built LCA, there really hasn't been much to celebrate in there. And, I went to the very first game that the Pistons played there. It was a good crowd. But after that, it's been kind of a ghost town in there. So it's good to have that energy back.
Yeah, we talked about it, and it's on our segment list. What do you want to see at the end of the season for the Detroit Pistons? Like, what do you want to see in these next however many games they are? And I wrote down, I just want to see a sense of the future. I want to see a glimpse, a snapshot of what it could look like. Right. I want to see, Sadiq Bey getting along with Cade Cunningham, and then now you have Marvin Bagley. I want to see what I saw. Cade Cunningham was smooth, fluid around the back. Oh, here you go, big fella. Whoop, no look, alley-oop. Bang out, crowd gets hyped. 2 wins to start off after All-Star break. That's what I want to see. I didn't say go undefeated. I didn't say win, however many games are left, win 80% of them. I just want to see what Troy Weaver sees. I just want to see what Don Casey sees. So I'm excited to see what they did in the last 2 games, and it's going to be fun to watch if they can kind of keep that thing up. That's something I can get behind.
Yeah, Adam's a big fan of saying that, like, NBA pros take 4 to 5 years to develop to become, like, comfortable with the game, right? Bagley was the number 2 overall pick 4 years ago.
Yeah.
He's just becoming what he's going to be, you know, and they'll use this as a cautionary tale, all you Killian haters out there too, because Killian had a hell of a game last night. Not in the scorebook, but defensively, that dude was all over the place. You don't want to give up on these high picks even 3 or 4 years in.
Yeah.
Like, give them that full 5 years. If they don't pan out after that, then move on. But we may have just stolen the number 2 pick from 4 years ago.
For nothing. For a bag of beans.
He's what, 22, 23?
Exactly. 22 years old.
Born in 99. March 14th. Birthday coming up.
Got him for a bag of beans. And also, same thing. Look what happened with DeAndre Ayton. They're ready to give up on him. Insert Chris Paul. Look what happens last year. They get to the finals. You start to see him feel himself and start to see himself this season act differently. And oh, by the way, that Cleveland Cavaliers team ain't bums.
No.
They were second. They were 2 games outside of first place before the last 2 games. That's a good ball club you beat right there. Pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, good win last night for the Pistons. Hopefully we can keep this going. Like you said, for the end of the season, we're just kind of looking to them to end like the Lions did. Just show me what I got to look forward to.
Yeah. Go ahead. Lee.
My one thing that my biggest issue that I have with Pistons fans is the Jeremy Grant slander. Is why, like, we've seen out 2 games, like, I mean, maybe not so last night. I know there was the issues there, but against Boston, like, Sadiq, Cade, like, it seems like these guys are starting to figure out a little bit of chemistry together. And Jeremy Grant was a guy that was celebrated last year. Like, everyone's like, wow, like, what a move to get Jeremy Grant in here, and look what he's done.
He had All-Star game numbers last year.
And the script is totally flipped. Everyone's like, get rid of this guy, get rid of him. I know Adam doesn't like him, and I'm just like...
I mean, it's Adam. Who does Adam like?
Yeah.
Matt Stafford, and that's it.
Yeah, besides Matt Stafford.
But my whole thing is let Jeremy Grant, let Cade Cunningham, let these guys figure out, and then, oh, by the way, you get a top 4 pick in this upcoming draft. Like, you're looking at a pretty talented roster going into next season.
Yeah, if we get a top 5 pick this year, you're looking at Cade as your starter, Killian, who was the number 7 pick, Bagley, who was the number 2 pick, and another top 5 pick as our as 4 of our starting 5. Not bad.
Banchero.
Oof.
You're a Banchero guy, huh?
That's Ryan. Like, I'm a Chet Holmgren guy.
My man.
I'm a Chet Holmgren guy.
Did you see him take it coast to coast and dunk the other night?
I'm a Jabari Smith guy, though, too.
All 3 of them. Like, to be honest, like, I understand the talk where it says, and I know we got to get to a break. I understand the talk where it's like, if you take Chet over Jabari and Banchero, you're crazy. I just been watching him, like, he grew so fast. The boy can shoot. So, like, he grew, and now he's become a post-up player. Now he's a guy that can play with his back to the basket, facing up the basket, and he can shoot. Chet is going to be a problem, man.
You give Arnie Kander some strength and conditioning time with him, he'll be all right.
Don't sleep on Jaden Ivey either. That's a kid that's really played himself into a top 4 pick as well.
Yeah, it's kind of like the draft last year. You had Mobley, you had Suggs, you had Cade, and obviously Jalen Green, whoever the hell that guy is.
You had Cade Cunningham. That's all you had last
That's
year.
all that
I have
matters.
a blinders on. I ain't see anybody else.
We got more sports talk coming up next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Let me tell you a little bit about our friends at Guardian Alarm. And when I say they're our friends, they're more like our family because they got our back like family. They're making sure that we're all safe in our house, and they're making sure that we have the technology to match what the crooks have nowadays. Let's be honest, the crooks, their technology ups, and so does Guardian Alarm. They stay on top of everything. They've been doing this for 90 years, but this is not what they had 90 years ago. I mean, now everything can be controlled from my phone. I can check carbon.
Sophistication right here. It's fine.
Even carbon monoxide I can check. I can check the cameras at my house, make sure my doors are locked, make sure the garage door is down. All that good stuff from the simple right here in my phone, and all you got to do to make that comfort level yours is call Guardian Alarm today. And the number's real easy, and it's right above my head if you're watching on YouTube. Do it right now. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out, fish.
1-800-STAY-OUT.
Stay out.
And you call that, and they will make sure you do not have people in your house that you do not want. Because all you got to do, call this number, 1-800-STAY-OUT. And definitely let them know that Woodward Sports sent you, and they'll hook it up like you've never believed. It's part of our family here at Woodward Sports, so thank you to Guardian Alarm. Welcome back to the Bottom Line on the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining us, being a part of the chat, liking everything that we do on Instagram, on TikTok, on Snapchat, on everything. We are there, so make sure you're following us, and you will get different takes from everything. Like every day on our TikTok, we'll take a clip from one of the shows, we'll throw it up there, and it's just a little highlight, little snippet, but we like to be everywhere because we're a digital sports network, so we want to be where the digital people are.
We like to be everywhere. Sometimes you don't have room and you don't have time or space to watch a full 2 hours of a show. Sometimes you just need a couple clips. You need to, hey, what were they talking about today? Oh, this was trending. Let me see what Nick Leach said about Russell Wilson. Let me see what Stick said about the Detroit Pistons and them winning 2 games out of All-Star break. We know you don't have the time, so we're trying to provide the convenience for you.
Yes. So thank you guys. We went over 100,000 followers across all platforms last week. That was a big deal.
Let's go.
Goal is to keep that going, right, Nick Leach, head of social?
A million's on my mind.
This guy right here, man. Nick, shout out to Nick Leach and the work that he does figuring out those algorithms, because I know I don't have time for it. You make the time for it, you do it well, man, and I'm just here to listen.
Well, let's get into some NFL quarterback talk. There's been a lot of drama around Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. Speaking of social media, Kyler Murray deleted the Arizona Cardinals from his bio. The Arizona Cardinals deleted all their pictures on Instagram except of one of Kyler Murray. So they've been going back and forth, trolling each other on social media. But it looks like they're going to sign him to that 5th-year option on his rookie deal. And it says, following Instagram cleanses and reports of immaturity, quarterback Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals are on the same page and the goal in Glendale moving forward. The NFL Network's Jane Slater reported on Thursday. So it looks like it was all much to do about nothing. But does that really carry over? I mean, is that something that can be forgotten and we're good now, we can move on?
No, you can definitely move on now. Look, in 2022, that's the new way. Guys are spoiled brats. Guys are kids, and organizations are a-holes as well. Like it takes 2 to tango. And to dance, you got to have 2 partners. They're a-holes. They operate a certain way. They want to say little things, little sly, sneaky things that they leak to the press people that they mess with. Kyler gets word of that. Now Kyler's like, oh, if that's how you feel, you don't want to vibe with me, I'll screw up my social. It's a little bit of a cat fight, but that's everybody's kind of doing that. You see what's going on with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson's an established player.
Yep.
And he just changed his social media picture, which has been the same for 6 years, of him and the Seahawks. And now it's all of a sudden him in his prep school that he went to in Virginia, which is mighty close to where the Commanders play, but we'll get into that. I think these guys are good. I just think that's the way of the world now in the NFL and in the NBA, the social stuff. They need to have classes to talk to guys to stop doing that, but it's the way of the world. I think they'll be fine because they understand what they have in Kyler Murray. They have a once-in-a-lifetime talent. Like, we were a little too hard on Kyler Murray a couple weeks ago when you started talking about the stuff because of how bad that playoff game was. Kyler Murray is a guy that is legitimately really, really good, damn good at what he does. He can escape. He can get out the pocket. He's one of the most prolific passers in terms of rating when he's out of the pocket, when he's on the run, throwing across his body, which is stuff you shouldn't do unless you're a Heisman Trophy winner that's done it in the NFL as well. Kyler Murray missed 3 games this year and still had 3,700 yards passing, still had 29 touchdowns, still had 69% completion rate. He's a guy that means business. They got to get him signed because their future is a bleak one without Kyler Murray.
Well, you see it in that Cliff Kingsbury offense, too. I mean, they tried it with Josh Rosen. Not going to work. And then you bring in Kyler Murray, the mobile quarterback who can move the pocket and do the fun things that Cliff Kingsbury loved to do in college and brought to the NFL. So they need Kyler Murray, I think, more than Kyler Murray needs them.
100%. Like, let's just look at this and be honest with ourselves. Leach, bring you in on this one. They're 10-1 when DeAndre Hopkins was healthy. You know, they're 8-0. J.J. Watt was playing at that high level that people forgot that he had. When they had Chandler Jones as well, when they had Buda Baker. Then you lose one running back in Redmond. You lose another running back in Connor. You lose another running back / wide receiver from Purdue. The name eludes me.
Rondale Moore.
There you go, my guy. So you lose all three of those guys. Then you add J.J. Watt to that. Now you add DeAndre Hopkins to that, and you see the fallout in the month of December, where they lose 5 games in the month of December, and then they lose the first round of the playoffs. That's not on Kyler. I mean, that's not on Kyler. What do you think about that, Leach?
To me, this team, that Arizona team this year felt a lot like the Pittsburgh team from last year. Like, yeah, they had talented pieces, but you knew they weren't a real championship contender. And I'm kind of in the mindset of, a quarterback's going to figure out a way to get it done, even when some of your key pieces go down. I mean, we've seen Tom Brady do it for years and years. I know that's a hard guy to compare it to, but at the end of the day, Kyler Murray did not play very good down the stretch. And, a lot of his body language on the side that people talked about was like, him just kind of depressed. I look at that Lions game as him just, he's supposed to be your leader of, getting, like, it's all right. We're down 14 to a bad Lions team right now. Like, we're going to be all right. Let's get it back together. But no, like, he kind of just let the snowball effect happen. Like, they got down early and, like, he was lethargic on the sideline. And so for me, like, you want a leader of your football team to be your quarterback. I don't care what people say. Like, that has to be your quarterback. That's the guy that the football is in his hands every time. So for me, Kyler Murray's got a lot of growing up to do, especially when you see the antics that he's already done this offseason. Like, is this really the guy that we can trust going forward? I don't know. It's left to be seen.
Well, the injury was a major part of this year, right? Because mobility is 95% of his game because he's so short. I mean, let's call a spade in that era, too. He's short. It's tough for him to see over offensive linemen, and he needs to be able to move and get around to do that. He couldn't do it midseason, and that's where the Lions snuck up and bit him in the ass. That's where they blew the lead, over the Rams that they had in that division. So, yeah, I think when he's healthy, it's fine. But if Kyler Murray loses even a little bit of that athleticism and his mobility, he's almost worthless.
So, like, to Braylon's point, like, Kyler needs those good pieces around him in order for him to be good. The minute you start taking those away, Arizona's out of the conversation.
Something about those Oklahoma quarterbacks needing everybody to be there, right? No, the reason why me and Alex were laughing is because you keep saying spade is spade, and that's what I say all the time. So I think I made you say it. I'm sorry. I say it all the time.
Damn it, Braylon. I'm picking up on your crutches.
It's my apologies. I'm trying to get away from it, man. Hey, but Leach, you bring up a good point because you want that quarterback to be the guy that you can trust. You want that guy to be there in all situations. Even with Matt Stafford, one of the big things they said about Matt Stafford was he was quiet, sometimes too quiet, but they never questioned his leadership. They never questioned him wanting to be there, and his name just always seems to come up. Just because he was quiet doesn't mean he wasn't leading. He wasn't distant. There are times you watch Kyler Murray this year where he's like literally way on the other side of the bench where nobody's around, and that's not what you need out of a quarterback. So I agree with you. He has some growing up to do, but he's the one for Arizona. I promise you that.
I think so too, because you got the team, like you said, you got the DeAndre Hopkins, you got the Rondale Moore, you've got J.J. Watt, you got Chandler Jones. Like, you've got good pieces on that defense. So he's got the team around him. Now he's just got to buck up and be the leader of that team.
I think they both need to grow up. I think Cliff Kingsbury and their organization needs to grow up. Kyler needs to grow up as well. I think they need to grow up together.
Well, we're going to find out if they grow up together because it looks like they're going to sign that 5th-year option, and it's good for them because
pay the man.
They have to. Pay that man his money. We got a debate going on in the chat right now about economics.
Rounders, by the way.
That's right.
Come on, man.
About economics, and I don't know what the hell's going on, but, they're talking about Michigan and all this. But yesterday, it came out, Forbes magazine reported that Michigan has the best economy in the entire country right now. So anybody that's bashing Michigan, get educated and get the hell out of the chat. Thank you very much. We will be right back on the Woodward Sports Network. This is The Bottom Line. My name is Stick, filling in for Mr. Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line. 7 of the top 10 publicly traded companies internationally are all here in Michigan. So kiss my ass.
What's the over-under? Should I tease? Who is the lock of the night? Make sure you're watching Woodward Bets to get the latest in sports betting and more. Woodward Bets daily on Woodward Sports. Sports. This part of the show today? Watch again on YouTube or download the podcast anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Gypsy vodka stuff is amazing. You saw yesterday, took the shot on air, and man, it was smooth as silk. Gypsy vodka, Michigan's gluten-free vodka. This corn distilled 6 times using artesian spring water. Stuff is smooth, pure as butter. See the bottle? I always like the bottle, man. Something about the bottle, like the artistry that goes into making that bottle. You can tell they took their time with the bottle, just like they took their time with the 50 formulas that they created to create the ultimate one, which is number 50. Hey, Adam and Mike, you did it with this one. Go down to your liquor store and ask for Gypsy Vodka. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you. You might get a bit of a discount. If not, try it again next time anyway. Remember, if you're going to drink responsibly.
Cool part about Gypsy Vodka is like High Five Spirits is like their umbrella.
Okay.
And they have some whiskey, a Hemingway whiskey.
They
And
got some stuff? Some whiskey?
They got a brand new thing coming out for golf season too, which I know Nick Leach is gonna love.
I'm going to do all types of Gypsy Vodka drinking this weekend. I've got my aunt's 70th birthday party. We've got my brother's diaper party. It's going to be a great weekend for Gypsy Vodka with the Leach household.
That's what I'm talking about right there, the diaper party. Now, what's going on with this diaper party?
What the hell is a diper party?
Oh, you guys, again,
I've never been to one.
This is the older generation. So
ain't that about a blip?
You know what? Stop with that.
Yeah. So now I would say probably if you're right around the age of maybe 31, 32, probably born right at the 1990 mark. And I'm not an advocate for any of this. Like there's so much extra stuff, engagement parties, all this nonsense. But anyways, they're doing these things now called diaper parties, just for guys. It's like a boys' night out. One of your buddies, he's on his way having a kid, and you call a bunch of his buddies. You bring tons of diapers for him, hang out, have a good time, reminisce, and then pretty much just hook your brother up.
So it's like the guy baby shower?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you could have just said that without calling me old, man. You attacked my age and then told me something about a baby.
Not only once, but he's done it twice today,
It's
Braylon.
a guy baby shower.
I mean, you guys are kind of flirting with the boomer. Like I'm surprised you guys haven't heard that.
Get the hell out of here. We don't come from the boomer. Come on, man.
First of all, I'm under 40.
Yeah, this is a 30-year-old man. You're 20. I'm the only 40-year-old in here.
I know, right?
Isn't it crazy that Braylon's younger than you are?
It is crazy, but it makes sense because I watched him play in college. So I was in the workforce.
I'm only 28, man.
Yeah. Well, you don't look a day
over.
over.
If I shaved my beard, I'd be like 28. Look.
Speaking of beards, James Harden.
I said I was 28, not my knee. The knee got some wear and tear on it.
James Harden making his debut tonight for the 76ers. Simple question. Is this going to work?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
Why this time?
It is definitely going to work.
I mean, he's blown up 2 teams in the past 2 years. You think this time it's like, we're good?
He didn't blow that team up. What they did in Houston had nothing to do with him. You brought in Russell Westbrook as your option. That's how you save the day as you bring in Russell Westbrook. You see what Russell Westbrook, who used to be my favorite player, mind you, see what he's doing now for the Lakers. So that's not on him. Then you go to New Jersey, and then you got one guy who wants to challenge the mask mandate, which looks like he might win in the end, but he wasn't available. Availability is the best ability. Hasn't been there. KD's been hurt. So what he was promised in New Jersey hasn't happened. Those guys, one got hurt, one wasn't there. They bought him there. They told him to come.
But at what point is it on him to be the superstar and just like, all right, cool, I'm not getting the tools I need, but I need to be the man.
You need to be the man with what? Like everybody has 3 guys now. So you mean to tell me my 2 guys are not there and I'm supposed to make it work with Blake Griffin? I'm supposed to make it work with what he had on the team? No. He's going to go to Philadelphia. He starts tonight. It's going to work. The reason why, he's never not been the number 1 option. When he was in Houston, he was playing tons and tons and tons of minutes, getting up tons and tons and tons of shots because he couldn't depend on anybody else. It was like Kobe in the mid-2000s. Why would I pass them the ball? They don't work out. They don't work as hard as I do. So now he's with Joel Embiid, who's the best big man in the league, best skilled big man in the league. He's the number 1 option. The offense will now flow through Joel Embiid, and now you got Tobias Harris, who isn't a guy that wants the ball, that needs the ball. When he's open, he shoots it, he knocks it down, he creates a mid-range game for you. And by the way, Danny Green still can shoot the ball when he's wide open. Yep. He may not be there all the time, but in the playoffs, he tends to find the 3-pointer in the playoffs. I like it from this sense. I know I've talked a bunch. I like it from this sense. He has never not been the number 1 option. To not have to be
the guy.
With
the Thunder. I mean, he was a 6 man.
To now have a guy like the offense is definitely going through Joel Embiid. Man, he's about to sit back and put on the show. He's about to have fun.
You think so?
I got one name for you. Daryl Morey.
Yep.
You
That's
go
his
back
guy.
to that's his guy.
That's his guy.
I kind of look back, to Dennis Rodman, who was his guy. Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly was his guy through and through. And I kind of feel that same type of relationship with James Harden and Daryl Morey. I mean, Morey was there at the airport, ready for him when he got there. He did everything that to try to get him a championship in Houston. Like, those guys are like, that's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we can't see. So for him to go, and that's why you see Daryl Morey kind of backed the truck up and gave the Nets what they wanted to try to get him there in Philly. So that's where I think the biggest kicker in this whole thing is. And to Braylon's point, Joel Embiid could very well be the MVP of this league this year.
I agree.
And then now you get James Harden there, spread the floor. Like, this has become a very dangerous 76ers team.
Not to mention, Joel Embiid knows nothing about a concept that is as old as time. The pick and roll. He's never had a point guard that can do the pick and roll. Ben Simmons and him never did the pick and roll.
Who is James Harden as a big man?
Case in point. Neither of them have worked with the other.
You think that'll take time, though, to build that rhythm, or you think they're just going to come out gunning?
Those two guys are that good.
They're too talented.
Thank you. Those two guys are that good. You're not asking for it to work with 5 other players, 3 other players, even 2 other players. Just those two, they're too talented for it not to work.
Well, let's flip the coin and go to the other guy that was involved in that trade, Ben Simmons. Do you think he's going to work in Brooklyn?
I do. This is the first time Ben
So you think this trade is going to work out for both sides?
I think the Nets got the better of the deal, but both deals are going to work in terms of both sides are going to have success because of the deal. Ben Simmons is now in a situation where he doesn't have to play point guard. Ben Simmons is in a situation where he doesn't have to shoot. The one thing everybody gets down on him, he can't shoot. He won't shoot. He's scared to shoot. Guess what? He ain't had to shoot no more. What did he finish last year? He finished 2nd in Defensive Player of the Year. Now you got Ben Simmons.
Hayes.
Thank you. All right. Now you got Ben. Well, could be. Now you got Ben Simmons. Now when you play in the Eastern Conference, he's going to see Giannis. He doesn't have a problem guarding Giannis. Now he's going to have to see Joel Embiid. He doesn't have a problem switching off. He's going to have to see Harden at times. He doesn't mind switching off for that. They just got a defensive assassin and a guy that now he doesn't have all that pressure. A lot of people aren't made to be the leaders. They aren't made to be the guys, but they are made to be great in the right situation.
Yeah, soldiers, not generals.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, you look back to him playing in Philly. Who is the guy that, could be your shooter?
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of think about it. No one really jumps to your mind. Like, you had
Joel. JJ, that was it.
Yeah,
they got
exactly.
rid of JJ, yeah.
And then you had Joel down low, but you got in Brooklyn now. You got Kevin Durant, who I think is the best player in basketball
100%.
right now.
When healthy.
Yeah. So, in my opinion, like Braylon just said, I know I'm agreeing a lot with Braylon here, but he doesn't have to. He just needs to be that facilitator and to be that playmaker who, to your point, Stick, that's kind of why you drafted Killian Hayes. Like, he wasn't brought in here to be a point scorer. And that's what we were told. I don't know why Pistons fans, and not to get too far off topic, I don't know why Pistons fans thought, Killian's supposed to be putting up 15 a night. That was never going to be the case.
Because Halliburton is. That's why you passed on a guy like Halliburton. You're seeing him light up the league in assists and points. And then you bring in a young guy that nobody was really too familiar with because he played overseas. Everybody expected it. Oh, he's the point guard. He's got to put up points. And it's like, no. This guy's a defensive-minded point guard, and that's the exact type of point guard that Dwayne Casey wants.
Yeah.
So that game last night, if you watch Killian Hayes, he was all over the floor. He was disruptive, and I like comparing him to Ben Simmons in that aspect as an elite on-the-ball defender who's not going to put up the points that you want him to.
I'm super excited about seeing the game tonight with James Harden. The reason why is, man, if I just start looking at that 76ers team over the past 4 years where trust the process, you never saw a facilitator, man. And Ben, as much as he tried to be a facilitator, it just wasn't in him. It just wasn't him to be an NBA point guard in terms of the sense of pure point guard. If I just start naming names, all you had was shooters, whether it was J.J. Redick, shooter, Tobias Harris, shooter, Jimmy Butler, shooter, Seth Curry, shooter, Danny Green, shooter. All they've had is shooters. They haven't had anybody that can facilitate an offense, run an offense, set the offense up, reset. That's another problem with a team like the 76ers, the way they have been conditioned. They couldn't reset. You got to have a guy that can go through the shot clock, get the rebound on offense, and then reset the offense. That's James Harden.
Well, we'll find out tonight if it works, and it's going to be fun to watch him play with an actual big man. I am excited to see how that works out. Coming up next, we need to talk about one last topic and then get to Maz's videos of the day. But I really want to talk about who may be the surprise cut for the Detroit Lions. And we got to talk about that because it may be one guy that I think we all love and don't want to see go. We'll do that next right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Ryan Armani. That is Braylon Edwards.
And this is The Bottom Line with my boy Leach.
Nick Leach.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
It's always good to be the king, right? Isn't that the saying? Well, Les Stanford is the Corvette king, and it's even better to be the king of Corvettes because the brand new Corvette is absolutely beautiful. If you haven't seen it, make sure you go to the Les Stanford showroom in Dearborn, right off Michigan Avenue, so you can see it live and in person. Because you look at pictures online, that's one thing. When you sit in that car, you feel the leather on the steering wheel, you get that new car smell. It's a totally different experience. And if you're looking for one of those new convertible or new Corvettes that goes 0 to 60 in 2.6 seconds. Les Stanford is your Corvette king. But it's not only that. It's not only Corvettes. They have pretty much everything under the sun, and if you're looking to get out of your lease, they will make sure that you get the best deal possible. So make sure you go to Les Stanford in Dearborn. You can go to lesstanford.com right now or give them a call, 313-565-6000. Les Stanford, find new roads.
Find them. And while you're finding new roads, let those new roads take you down to Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential. Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone, where you can work out in a non-intimidating atmosphere. Like I say every day, when you go to the gym, you want to do your own thing at your own pace. Just relax, and that's what Planet Fitness is here to offer you. Membership is just $10.
Only $10.
Only $10, Sam.
Are you out of your mind?
But you know what? If you want to ball out of control and get yourself a black card, only $22.99. And with that comes the use of amenities such as unlimited tanning, hydro massage chairs, total body enhancement, along with access to over 2,000 locations worldwide. 2,000! That means no matter where you are, there is a Planet Fitness near you, including in Midtown at the Detroit Performance Center, where the Detroit Crews Motor City Crews, excuse me. Same thing, right? It's the same thing, not really?
Their technical name's Motor City Crews.
Okay, tomato, potato, I'm going with the Motor City Crews. You get it right. Right now, $0 down or $10 a month. Remember, your fitness is essential.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. Yeah, man. You know, Derek Walton, Luka Garza.
I feel bad.
They got some ballers.
What's going
down
on
there.
with Luka Garza, man? I was excited to see him this year. How's he doing?
They've been moving him up and down
going back and forth
as they go. When he's gotten some action for the NBA, he's looked okay, but he's pretty much dominated when he's playing G League.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy when you watch these guys go up and down from G League to the pros, and it's like in the G League they're 40-point-a-game score.
Yeah.
They get to the pros, they're barely cutting in minutes. It's wild.
It's wild. You know what? Derek Walton talked about. He said it's basically what they need at that pro level. Sometimes you got guys that are balling that on their G League teams, but you don't need that position for the pro teams. But Luka Garza is a guy that people were high on. People were excited to see him, and so I can't wait till it works out officially and he's on that bench full time at LCA. Yeah,
I like Pickett too on the G League team. You know, I do the color commentary for them sometimes, so I get familiar with some of these guys.
I did know that.
And it's fun to watch them too. So go down to that Wayne State Fieldhouse and check it out. It's a beautiful facility. They spent $25 million to just have their own. It's only basketball in there. It's not like a Fieldhouse where they're switching it. It's only basketball.
It's come down there with you, man. Season's not over, man.
Yeah,
come down.
They can thank me for that. That's where my tuition went to. So.
Oh, there you go. Thanks, Nick Leach.
Go. Shout out to Wayne State in the building.
All right. Well, you know, this topic sometimes is tough to get into, but Maz put it on the prep sheet, and I thought it was an interesting topic. Who is your pick for the surprise cut for the Detroit Lions? Every year, a guy that we don't think is going to lead the team ends up getting cut, and there's a couple names on this list. So, Braylon, I'll let you lead. Who do you think that the Lions may cut in a surprise fashion this year?
Jamal Williams.
Don't say that, man. I love him.
Everybody does. You see the response to Green Bay when he left Green Bay. When they didn't bring him back, you saw the response. Green Bay fans missed him. You saw him hug all the guys before the game this year, both of them.
Yep.
I just think him, and the reason why I say that is because he's not always available. I think if you look at DeAndre Swift is a guy that has been plagued with injury. You don't want both your running backs being plagued with injury. You want guys to be available. If the star is going to be a guy that's going to be in one game, out the next, questionable another game, your backup has got to be just that. He's got to be ready. He's got to be ready to play at all times. And I just think just because of that, not anything to do with his play, when Jamal Williams gets the ball, he gets first downs, he runs hard. He's a guy you can trust when he's in there. The problem is getting him in there consistently. If you got one guy that's inconsistent, and that's DeAndre Swift, and he's the star, backup can't afford to do that, and that's what he does. So I would go Jamal Williams.
Leach, anybody off the top of your head that you think is going to get miraculously cut? I mean, some of the names on here were Jamal Williams, Vaitai, and Will Harris.
I mean, Vaitai possibly, but I mean, you've seen how injuries plague the offensive line. For me, I don't necessarily see a surprise cut like we maybe saw last year with Don Molback. I mean, that was a guy that spent forever here. I'd say that was probably the biggest surprise to me.
They signed him back though too. They cut him on his birthday, though.
Yeah, savage.
They did.
You better be careful on your birthday around here in Detroit. Josh Jackson got shipped away. Don Molback got cut. Just be careful. Watch out. I don't even want my birthday to come here.
Don't tell anybody it's your birthday. Just hide it.
Yeah, exactly. But to me, I mean, they have so much cap space this offseason. I don't necessarily think you'll see that big. Like maybe Trey Flowers. That won't come as a surprise to a lot of Lions fans. I know a lot of Lions fans are actually calling for it. Because of the lack of production, some of the injuries that he's dealt with over the year, he hasn't been worth the money that he's been paid. So, to me, that doesn't come as a surprise, but I wouldn't, like I said, that would be the one name I'd watch for.
All right, yeah, Jamal Williams, unfortunately, is the name that everybody keeps saying. And like I said, I love Jamal Williams. If you haven't seen our interview with Jamal Williams, make sure you go on our YouTube page and search Morning Woodward Show interview with Jamal Williams. It was when I was doing the morning show with Joey and Corey. And my goodness, probably one of the most entertaining and fun interviews I've ever done in my entire life. And like from my radio background, like I've interviewed Jay-Z, I've interviewed Kanye, I've interviewed Timberland, like I've interviewed everybody. But Jamal Williams, pure entertainment.
I love how you just ran through that list.
Just
I need you to go back to some of these interviews. What was it like interviewing Kanye, man?
Oh, it was amazing. It was when he was first getting started, so he was very accessible.
Okay.
And it was right when College Dropout was coming out. And, they go on promo tours. They come to radio stations and whatnot. And just able to sit down with him and talk to him for about 15 minutes. And it was great. He's not the Kanye he is now.
Right. I'm watching Genius right now. And basically, like, the end of episode 2 is right in that space where you're talking about. Is right at that time, man. Like, what was it like?
That would be sweet if they actually pulled footage for when he came here in Detroit.
They have a lot of footage. His guy was recording everything. Yep. So I'm pretty sure that they might have that in there somewhere. I might have missed it, but they have a lot of footage because of the guy that was following him around at that time because he was betting on himself.
He's just one of those guys that you could just feel his energy.
Authentic.
You know what I mean? Like when he walked in the room, he's a presence. Sometimes you meet all these big names, big artists, and they walk in and it's like, that's just a dude. Like, like there's nothing special, nothing stands out about them. But when Kanye walked in the room, it was like, I'm in the presence of something. I don't know what it is, but I'm in the presence of it because I was early on and I became the biggest Kanye fan after that.
I've been in a room with him before, and you can feel the energy. It's kind of like he disassociates himself with the concept of the room. Mm-hmm. It's like he disassociates himself, but he doesn't necessarily knock the concept of the room, and you can just feel the energy like, oh, no. It's like this over here, whatever this is, whatever he, like, it's real. It's different.
It's almost like a living unicorn. Like, and I know at the end of the day, they're just other people like you and I, but like there's been only one other instant I felt that way too is Mark Wahlberg came to the golf course that we worked at, or that I worked at, and it's just different. There's a different kind of, there's different levels to it. Like you said, when you're around Kanye, like these are guys that you never think you'd get that close to or anything like that, and for them to be there's a certain energy to it that you can't really explain.
Well, and if anybody here in Detroit hates Kanye, you're stupid, first of all. Second of all, he put Big Sean on. So even if you don't like Kanye for what he is, he's the dude that came to Detroit. Big Sean spit bars to him while he was walking out of a radio station, and Kanye signed him. Like, he changed Detroit culture, whether we like it or not. So no matter if you don't like what he does with Kim Kardashian, you don't like the crazy stuff, you don't like his fashion line, that's fine. But you still got to give that man credit for putting Big Sean on the map for the entire world to see. And the way Big Sean represents us, that's a big deal.
I think the big thing, like in terms of understanding their mindset to these people that we call unicorns, or to these people that when they get in the room, the vibe is different, like the mystique is different. Yep. I think it's because of how they feel about themselves. Mm-hmm. Like that's where they're different than the average individual, or the person that's just in that room, or even another celebrity that's in that room. The way in which Kanye feels about himself, the way in which Jay-Z feels about himself, the way in which Michael Jordan feels about himself, it's like, I don't give a F about none of y'all in here. None of y'all are on what I'm on. Like what I'm doing, what I'm presenting, what I'm thinking, what I'm working on, like it's going to be the greatest SHIT ever. Like I'm going to be the greatest MF ever. And you feel that confidence they have in themselves, and you're like, yes, you're right.
They just have a winning inner scoreboard. Yeah. I love the term inner scoreboard.
Winning,
and as long as you're winning on your inner scoreboard, you're projecting that type of energy. And speaking of winning on a scoreboard and Russia drama, remember when the USA took it to them Russians?
1980, baby. February 22nd, 1980.
Miracle on ice. This was going to be Maz's video, but he had to skate out of here early, and we're going to leave you with this. What a great call by Al Michaels. I watched that
30 for 30 this morning. Like from the Russian perspective, I got a chance to see from the Russian side how things were. They weren't necessarily the big bad bullies everybody made them out to be. But I tell you what, they were the best team of all time at that time. They had probably the best goalie of all time. And the fact that he got pulled.
Stupid coach.
Like the fact that he got pulled and he, cut his nose to spite his face. That's the quote. Can't believe he benched him. Hey, we took advantage.
History was made. Let's roll out with that. You guys have a great weekend. Sam Flannel, Nick Leach, Alex.
You're the man, Stick.
All right, thank you guys.
Leach, appreciate you 100%. Corey Woods, appreciate you as well for stepping in 2 days ago.
Yep.
Appreciate you, man.
Ryan Armani's back on Monday, and the bottom line will be complete like Voltron. We'll see you later.
5 seconds to the gold medal. 4 to the gold medal. It's impossible.